Yeah! Look at that. After a sweep, I know it's just a 2-game sweep, but division rival Padres win. Victory Thursday here on Ben & Woods this morning. Welcome in. Great to have you guys with us on Thursday. Today is May 1st. And I realized last night there are two kinds of people in the world. People that say it's going to be May, and they post the Justin Timberlake meme, and then there's me. And I am not that person. In fact, I had to admonish one Samuel R. Levitt last night. Sammy posted it. I believe he's a big – Justin Timberlake was in NSYNC, right?
Yes.
I believe Sammy is a big NSYNC fan, so I give him a little bit of a pass. Actually, I don't. I'll make more fun of him. But you know what I mean. It's Sammy. He can do whatever he wants.
It's gonna be May.
You just made my anus cinch up tight. Tight, Paulie. So, yeah, today is May 1st. And,
it's gonna be May.
God, I got the dork chills like nobody's business. So, yeah, happy May 1st, everybody. What a great couple of days to be a Padres fan for sure. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl, who I'm going to slit his throat here in a little bit. If he plays that again, he's the executive producer of the program. Good morning, Paulie.
I'm just kidding.
Killed me.
How are you?
Doing good, man. And then Benjamin R. Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joins us as well. NSYNC guy.
Not an NSYNC guy. I am a May guy, though. I enjoy the month of May.
I believe I do as well.
It feels like we're really here now, deep into 2025. Summer is around the corner.
That's a good point.
We've gotten through the early part of the year, and now we really can settle in for the meat of this 2025 season and calendar.
Yeah, the appetizer of April is done.
Right.
It's meat time. It's appetizer April is done. Meat May is here. It is time to bite down on the meat on the bone. And the San Diego Padres certainly did that. I'd like to start in another direction, though, this morning. We were just having a conversation off the air. I need to thank your mom, Kim R. Higgins. Ben's mother.
You do love that R as a middle name for everybody.
She is the sweetest lady that I've ever met in my whole life, ever. Other than, my mom, obviously. She's maybe sweeter. I'm not sure. It's
not a competition.
They're neck and neck.
No, everything's a competition.
Everything's a competition. Yeah, they are. She's fantastic. So I go to the mailbox yesterday, and I pull out this giant padded envelope, and I'm like, what is this? And it says Kim Higgins on it to Bo Woods, who's my 7-year-old. And I went, this is cool. So we open it up, and she had written him the sweetest little note, and he read it, because he's a reader now. And it said, essentially, Bo, I heard on the radio today that your dad said that you're interested in Padres history and keeping score. So I found this for you, and I want you to have it. And it is a Padres Astros program. I can't remember the date on it, except for it was in 1976.
Wow.
And Randy Jones is on the cover, slinging the rock. And I brought him in the room. I go, check this out. And he read it, and he goes, oh, that's cool. So we start thumbing through it. Now, the most interesting part when we were thumbing through it was every other ad was a cigarette or whiskey ad. And it was like, hey, if you're not a P word, you'll smoke Winston's. I mean, it was like, and I forgot about all the advertisements when we were kids. I mean, it was everywhere you looked. And so you flip the page and let's do a deep dive into Randy Jones's changeup. And then the very next ad is drink whiskey, you big giant P.
I can see in my head going to the Murph when I was a kid, before they enclosed it and the outfield was still open, the giant Marlboro billboard that was out there in the outfield with the cowboy, red and white, with the cowboy sitting there sitting Marlboro. And that was there like every game for seasons upon seasons when I was growing up.
Huge sponsors of Major League Baseball, right? And I mean, could you imagine now these days, like it was literally whiskey, it was beer, and it was cigarettes in that program. And I'll bring it in Monday, and I'll take pictures. We'll put it on the stream so you guys can see it. But it was cool, dude. It was really cool. Price of that program was $1.25. One solid American quarter. You pick it up each game. It's got the scorebook inside for that day's game.
We used to always get the program so we could keep score when we went to the games and go to that page and then fill out the lineup. Keep score of the game.
It was, the talk about nostalgia. Now, I would have been 1 year old when that game happened, but I can remember vividly a kid.
They still sell programs with the scorecard?
I think they do.
Yeah, I don't know where to find them.
I imagine they're more expensive. They used to be like $1.
You scan a QR code and then you can do it on your phone, maybe on an app.
We would go, it was like $1 for just, you could get like the bigger, like the media guide or something for the year, the yearbook or whatever.
Yep.
And then you could get that
program.
or the daily program. It was like $1 or $2.
Get your program, get your program.
And then I loved also walking around and getting the All-Star Game ballots, which would typically, like within the next couple of weeks, they'd start rolling them out there. Yeah, it's already about that time.
You'd sit your ass in your chair. Dad, you got a pen? No, I don't have a pen. Let me get your keys. And you take his keys and you go ding, ding, ding,
poke the little dimpled Chad.
Poke the dimple and bite the little Chad off the back, get it all set up, and then turn it in. So it was really, really cool. Dominic says he can remember being a kid in the stands, guys blasting cigs. Can you imagine sitting out in the bleachers, the guy next to you's like, how you doing? Yeah, Pods are looking good this year, and fires up a heater and is just sitting there having a Coors Light and sucking down a Marlboro. You're there with your kids. You don't even think anything of it. You think nothing of it.
I mean, I remember even when I was a kid, my parents, just smoking when we went to, to grandparents' house in the afternoon. Yeah. It was just everyone did it back then. I never did it. You smoked a little bit.
I smoked a lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
How do you decide which cigarette brand you're going to go with?
Well, it's what you can get your hands on before you're 18. Really is where it starts. I mean, the first one I ever smoked was a Benson and Hedges because my uncle smoked Benson and Hedges. I always felt like it was a bit of a deviant brand. I did. I don't know why. It just seemed very pervy to me. So I grabbed one of his when I was probably 12, 13, fired one up and didn't like it. Didn't like it at all. It's amazing I ever went back, but I did.
They always say, they advertise the best tasting cigarette. Right. What do they taste like?
You've never smoked, you've never had a drag?
I've never had one.
They don't taste great, dude. And I'll tell you.
I can't imagine they do. It's smoke.
Well, they taste worse now, I think, than they used to. Probably because they've cleaned them up a little.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's weird. Like, it doesn't make any sense. But honestly, they've taken out the good stuff. Much like they have in a lot of things. Like, they don't taste like it tastes when we're kids. And then
they would market different cigarettes for men and women.
Oh, yeah.
But it was just tobacco.
Yeah, still. But Virginia Slim, they would be like
ladies.
Long javelins. And the women would smoke these foot-long javelin cigarettes, but they were very thin.
And then in the movies, the women would have a holder that would then hold the cigarette. And what does that do?
Your old pal Woods might have had a holder at one point. Might have. I might have in college.
Instead of holding your hand this high, you only have to hold it this high.
It's kind of a bit, but not really a bit. Like, I want to see what this is like. It's like an extra filter.
Is there a name for that?
Yeah, cigarette holder.
Just cigarette holder? Yeah. There's no, special name for the device that you stick. Now you stick the cigarette into the end
of it, and then and you don't get the tip of the cigarette all wet too.
Vape pen before a vape pen.
Yeah, pretty much. Kind of like a build your own vape pen with an actual cigarette. But it was great, man. I was scrolling through this thing, and obviously it's the amount, because I live by. We live by seven schools, right? And the amount of kids that I would see around middle schools and high schools smoking cigarettes in 1992 was in the dozens. I don't think I've seen a kid smoking in years, right? Like when I go down to Vaughn's, there's not a bunch of kids huddled up next to the thing smoking cigarettes like we all used to. I don't see it
in privacy.
There's a lot of vape. There's a lot of vape for sure, Paulie, but you don't see we called them the hoods, and I was kind of one of them. I was like a secret hood.
Woods the hood.
And they would sit down there outside the grocery store and just blast smokes. But it was really funny, man, like looking at these ads, and I'm just thinking, man, times have changed. Times have changed so much. But it was such a cool gift, and he was very, very appreciative. And we kind of thumbed through it, and we were laughing. He's like, I go, what's that ad for? He goes, oh, cigarettes. I go, what about that one? He goes, cigarettes. I go, yeah, this is things have changed. Times have changed.
Major sponsor of Major League Baseball back in the day.
Crazy. And you would, players smoked all the time. They got that. Look, say what you want. I'm not promoting it here, but Dave Parker smoking that cigarette in the dugout is one of the coolest pictures I've ever seen in my whole entire life. When he's in full uni and he's leaning up on the top step and he's blasting a cig, it's like one of the coolest pictures.
I think of Jim Leland, manager of the Tigers,
blasting heaters and the Pirates as well, blasting heaters in the dugout. I mean, imagine you're like playing a game at the highest level and your manager's sitting on the bench just blasting the smoke. I mean, it's just crazy. So
people remembering the cigarette machines where you actually pull the almost like a pinball like machine where you'd pull it out and that would drop the package of cigarettes to the bottom.
Saw one of those in Las Vegas last time we were out there. One of the casinos, I think it was like Flamingo. They had the old school cigarette vending machine. You're like, God, they just don't see those anymore.
You just don't. Dominic, good point here. MLB has moved from cigs to gambling as major sponsor, just switching vices. Yeah, it's absolutely true. Absolutely true. So yeah, for all of the consternation about the gambling ads that we see now, back in the day, it was cigarette, it was beer, and it was whiskey. And you can still have beer sponsors.
It was a country music song.
Yeah, it really was. But you can still have beer sponsors.
Sure.
Yeah. Do we have is there like a Budweiser? There's something out at Petco, isn't there? Yeah. There's Cutwater. There's all kinds of stuff. So
Budweiser Loft.
Loft. Yeah. So alcohol, fine. They're not going to let you do tobacco anymore. But it was really cool, man. It was fun to flip through that and look back. And God, Randy Jones looked so young, and he had that. Well, let's be honest, Randy Jones, maybe the original broccoli cut, potentially.
He started the trend back in the 1970s.
Randy Jones, potentially the first man on the scene with the broccoli cut and the hat.
Don't even have to AI that.
You don't find it. There's absolutely no AI necessary. He put that hat on, and that broccoli spit out the side. And that was our beloved Randy Jones, Cy Young winner for the San Diego Padres. And, of course, he's on the cover of that program. But, Kim, thank you so much. It was very thoughtful and kind, and we really enjoyed it.
But you don't want Bo to start smoking.
No, I don't. I'm not worried about it. I just don't think kids are into it, man. I just don't. There's a million other things I'm worried about my kids getting into. Weirdly enough, cigarettes isn't one of them.
I do feel like there was a lot of alerts about a lot of vaping going on at like high schools nowadays. That is something that teachers and administrators are concerned about.
For sure. And I don't know how to feel. I don't know how to feel about it. Is it safer than smoking? Maybe. I have no idea. They're going to come out, years from now and tell you it's going to make you die, just like they did with cigarettes. But yeah, it's different, man. I don't think I could get a full one down right now. I don't think I could. I tried during the playoffs. I bought that pack during the playoffs, and I had one, and I was like, ugh.
Now, did you ever do cigars?
No, disgusting.
Cool, though.
Not for me. It was never as cool as cigarettes.
So when I went to my golf tournament, obviously, there was always at least a couple of guys you play against that would be chomping on a cigar during the round. That's just what they do when they golf. They drink. Get their cigar out, they smoke it, so you just get used to it when you're playing in one of those tournaments.
I know cigarettes don't smell great. I know they don't, but I don't think anything smells worse than a cigar.
I disagree. I'm the
really
complete opposite. I
really?
think I would rather
I like the smell of a cigar better than a cigarette.
Wow.
If I had to sit next to somebody smoking, I'd rather them be smoking a cigar than a cigarette.
No kidding.
I agree.
I had no idea.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like it's a little
it's
more
not even really close,
earthy or something a little more.
But I don't like smoking cigars very much. No. And I fully acknowledge it's probably because I haven't had really good ones.
I don't think that's it.
I don't know that would make a huge difference for me because
I don't think that's it.
I had one out on a golf course. I think somebody had busted out the cigars. Yeah. That guy was there, busted out the cigars. Hey, anybody want one? Yeah, sure. And I wanted to throw up after about 3 holes.
Now, did you inhale?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think so. A little bit. It's been years. I was like ready to throw up, and I'm like, never again. Never again. And I don't think I've had one since.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, I do the Zyn, and
no, I don't think I inhaled the cigar.
No,
actually. I think I just kind of
which is nicotine, but these taste like cinnamon, so it tastes pretty good to me. I would like to see you take one time. Never had any nicotine whatsoever.
Never.
I
don't think so.
Not a chew or a plug or nothing.
No.
Wow, it's interesting.
I worry how I would react. I think it would be very poorly.
Probably need to be life flighted out of here.
That's
with one's in.
That's my concern.
We will on a live stream sometime. Just see.
I just don't know. I really no. I'm like legitimately concerned.
Oh, we're going to Philly. I'm gonna get a couple beers in you. I'll give you a Zim. We'll see how you react. It's a 3. I give my little leaguers these if they want them. Come on, they're not gonna hurt you. I'm just joking. Everyone, don't call CPS. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. But the program was really, really cool. And it takes you back, man. It takes you back to the old days. Now, we always like to lament that the old days are gone. It's better now. Things are better now. I know it's hard. Oh, man, but back then, the thing only cost $0.25. Everything's better now. Okay? Back then, you couldn't get banana pudding in a helmet. All right? And now you can. So things immediately, you couldn't get pizza at the ballpark. Now you can. Things are infinitely better at Petco Park now than they were at the Murph in 1976. I feel pretty confident.
Was it just hot dog and
beer,
peanuts?
nachos, and peanuts? That's it. Maybe not even nachos.
Probably not.
Peanuts, Cracker Jacks, hot dog.
Yeah, that was
about the extent of it.
Yeah, soda and beer and
get in your time travel machine. Bring
popcorn. I think they had popcorn.
Bring a thing of the Cardiff crack nachos.
Yeah, to a guy in 1976.
And say, oh, yeah, you can get these down the third baseline.
Here you go, Chief. Try that.
I remember when they first added the Jody Maroney sausages at the Murph, and you could get like an upgraded hot dog. Those are my favorites.
Okay, you do love sausage. That is true. All right.
All right, you ready to get going today?
I just got going.
We got a win to talk about. We'll set the menu for the program, tell you about our guests today. It is a Throwback Thursday. Looking forward to all of it. Tier 1s, thank you for joining us. We got Kelly's Traffic, and then underway with Ben and Woods here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. First, though, tell you about Daily Fantasy. I mean, that's the new ad going on around, and you can absolutely play it the way you want. You don't have to, play 100 a day. I set like 2 or 3 lineups a week. That's what I do, but I enjoy my Prize Picks. It's pretty simple to play. All you have to do is download the app at prizepicks.com. Make sure when you do use the code KWFN because you're going to get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Let me say that again. $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup using the code KWFN. Here's what I do. Use that 50 and set like 10 $5 lineups over a couple of weeks to figure out how it works for you. You can combine sports, baseball, basketball. You're just playing against the numbers. You look at projections like 4.5 strikeouts or 1.5 hits for players. You pick more or less. And the more you put together, the more you can win, up to 2,000 times your cash if you set the correct lineup and get them all right. It's a lot of fun. It's very easy to play. And every Tuesday, that is next week, Prize Picks does offer their discounted projections. They call it Taco Tuesday, usually by 15 to 25%. So always look for those special bonus squares where you can get some extra winning in for your same lineup price. It's really fun. It's Prize Picks. Run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for details.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Good news for all of you. Don't have to hear me talking about the Lakers for quite some time now. That they
Why?
are.
I'd like to talk about the Lakers
They
today.
are done and eliminated last night by the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Man,
And
if only they had like a center that could help them win.
that certainly, it certainly did not help them against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Rudy Gobert just smashed them last night.
Nico feeling pretty good this morning.
I don't know if he's feeling good, but the Mavericks did win one playoff game, same as the Los Angeles Lakers this year.
All right, you answer me this, Laker fan. Is Nico slightly more vindicated than he was 6 weeks ago? Yes. I think it's unequivocally yes.
No.
I don't
really?
think so.
I think it's still the worst trade in professional sports history.
I agree with Paulie. It's
Okay.
still a disastrously bad trade.
They'd have to win a championship.
Who does? Nico?
Nico.
What about
I mean,
Luka?
they did it because they felt like they'd be better short term, and they were terrible short term. They snuck into the play-in
At
tournament.
worst,
That's it.
even if the Lakers don't make the playoffs 5 out of the next 8 years or whatever, they still have a top 3, top 5 international superstar
and a bunch
as
of
the
picks.
cornerstone of their franchise.
They
bunch of picks.
didn't have to give up any, other future picks. The Lakers were a legitimately good team the second half of the season, but they ran into a really good playing team led by, Ann Edwards didn't even have a good game last night, but the rest of the guys picked up the slack. I'm honestly kind of glad. If they had gone back to Minnesota for Game 6, they would have lost by 35. This just was not a good matchup. And now I can be done talking about the Lakers until maybe next season at this point.
Well, it's a big day for all of us then.
Yeah. So, but I told you yesterday, if I could only have one win,
That's true.
I would definitely pick the Padres to do it. And they got their win yesterday. We will talk about it. Our Padres Wrap-Up coming up in our next segment. We'll go through yesterday's 5-3 win over the San Francisco Giants. Michael King's pitching performance. Got an Elias Diaz home run with a little bit of controversy as well to it. We'll go through the game and all the reaction to the win over the Giants. They're now 5-0 against National League West opponents this year. Good start in your division. If you want to make the playoffs, generally you have to play well against your divisional opponents.
Can't do any better.
Padres
5-0.
have done so far this season, and now get ready to go on to a 9-game, 3-city road trip Those are difficult, even when you don't have great teams to play. And the Padres have Pittsburgh and Colorado on this trip, also have the Yankees. But just the length, the travel, everything involved.
The girth, yeah, all of it.
Makes this
length, girth,
makes
travel.
this a difficult stretch for the San Diego Padres coming up. So we'll look ahead to the road trip as well coming up this morning. Yes, Thursday means in-season Sammy, Sam Levitt, will help us wrap up the homestand at 7:35. It also means Smart Baseball with Eno Sarris coming up at 8:35 this morning. Have our regular segments like Don't Do This, Real or Fake on a Throwback Thursday at 8:20 for your chance to qualify for a trip to Las Vegas. Reindl Report and a Throwback Thursday clip for you in our 9 o'clock hour as well. Plus, another pair of boxing tickets to give away for the Top Rank event coming to Pechanga Arena later this month now, May 10th. Coming up a week from Saturday, we will give away some tickets as well. So got some things to talk about this morning, obviously. On a Thursday, we got the roundtable at 10 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, buddy.
I'm back after off last week during my vacation, and I saw someone mention in the chat that the Padres are now 2-0 since I got back from my trip.
Oh.
I just wanted to let everybody know I was thinking about going on vacation again next week. But if you'd like to start a GoFundMe to keep me from going on vacation, I am certainly willing to entertain that possibility. If you truly believe that I make a difference just by sitting in this chair helping the Padres win.
You are the Manny Machado of the Ben and Woods show.
Does he self-appointed Manny Machado of the Ben and Woods show? You missed maybe the best Eno appearance of all time.
Really? What happened last week?
He went to a fish show the night before, and when we called him, it sounded like he got hit by a train.
Not at the Sphere, just a regular
fish show in the Bay Area.
Hey, good morning, Eno.
Hello. Are you okay? Yeah, went to a show last night. What show did you go to? Fish. And I go, oh boy. I said, buddy, we know you've been doing this for so long. We know you well enough. Next time, why don't you give us the heads up? We'll record it the day before and play it like it's live, or just bail. Because I'll tell you what, if I went to see my favorite band the night before and I had an early ass radio hit, sorry, fellas, not gonna be able to make it tomorrow. I was out raging, watching the Afghan Wigs or something. There's no way I'm calling in. And to his credit, powered through it like a machine. So hopefully today he's a little more chipper.
I really try to fight against stereotypes, but Eno does seem like a fish fan.
There's no question. There's no question. I don't even think that. I mean, some stereotypes are true, and that's absolutely one. He. If you saw him on the street, you go, "Oh, you like fish?"
I didn't know he was a fish fan until now, but it really is one of the least surprising revelations that you could have made. To me.
Not going to surprise you even in the least. But he was like, "Hello, yeah, went to a show." I said, "Buddy, nobody appreciates that more than I do." So. Next time, just bail on Ben and Woods. We will be fine. We can make it up. We can do it the next day. He goes, I got stuff to write. I just said, oh man, it's an undertaking when you go wear it during the week if you got early stuff to do. So we appreciated that. We'll certainly appreciate talking to him again this week. He's so fun. I listened to a little bit of Rates and Barrels this week, his podcast that he does, and the guy is he's as smart as they come. It surprises me so much that a team hasn't just snapped him up to give him $250,000 a year to sit in a room and tell them how to be better. It truly has blown me away that nobody's grabbed him.
I thought when the Reds hired Kyle Bodie a couple of years ago from Driveline,
that was going to open.
I was like, oh, Eno is going to be getting the job here.
Well,
real soon.
Kyle's with the Red Sox now, so I mean, it's those guys, man. If you value that kind of stuff in your organization, it's hard to get better than Eno and Kyle.
All right, Eno coming up in our 8 o'clock hour, but I want to get to the wrap-up and talk about the 2-game sweep of the San Francisco Giants. We will do that coming up next with Ben and Woods right here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. First, though, Woods and I want to talk about trust and will. We've been all year long, essentially, we've been telling you, and I'm glad to see that more tier ones have finally kind of, all right, all I have to do is go to the website. It really doesn't take very long. You answer some questions, 15, 20 minutes, and at the end of the process, you have something that you really did need to take care of a long time ago and you put off. Done. You have legal documents for a will or a trust that can take care of your family in the event that something happens to you. Hopefully it doesn't.
And every day I'm seeing a new tier 1 pop up in the chat saying that they've completed it. They said, yeah, you guys were absolutely right. Took me 20, 30 minutes, did it the other day, got my estate documents being shipped to my home now, and I'm going to throw it in the desk and I'm going to forget about it.
Yeah, you want to avoid probate. Woods always tells you about this, but I can tell you as well, it's a costly court process to distribute an estate. On average, probate costs 3 to 7% of an estate's value, and legal fees can take 9 to 18 months to settle. So for a $500,000 estate, that's just $25,000 in fees right there. But with a trust, you can avoid a lot of the hassle, a lot of the cost, simply by putting these documents in order. It's really affordable. You don't have to go to a lawyer's office to get off your butt. Go to trustandwill.com. Do it today and use the code FAN, F-A-N, and get 20% off your estate documents and free shipping as well. No excuses. Get it done. Ben & Woods told you to do so. Go to trustandwill.com. That's trustandwill.com.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Off day for the Padres to today in Pittsburgh, where had an incredibly scary moment yesterday at PNC Park. With video, you probably saw it. A fan fell from the 21-foot outfield wall onto the warning track yesterday during the Pirates game and is in critical condition, which is just absolutely scary. I mean, you saw the video, Woods, and I mean, I don't know how you have railings there, and
they're only like thigh high.
They are.
You know, they're about thigh high railings, which again, I mean, you can't have a giant fence up in front of people. You assume some level of responsibility and caution when you sit in a seat like that. And again, the reports are that he was pretty intoxicated. Many have said the fact that he was intoxicated might have saved his life. For now, he is in critical condition, but you could see when he tumbled, he wasn't tight. It was as loose as a rag doll, and it looked like somebody threw like one of those CPR dummies off the second floor, and he hit that thing, and I watched it once. That's all I could stomach. I have the weakest stomach for stuff like that, and
it was awful.
It was awful.
It was one of the worst things I've ever seen.
And
honestly, I was like, I think we just watched a man
die. Yeah.
At the time, I thought he was dead.
At a baseball field. And again, I don't think he's anywhere near out of the woods yet, but it was horrific, man. And yeah, they had to bring carts out and do the whole thing and take him off and get him to the hospital. And then they had to go finish and play a baseball game, which is, I did see people say, oh, you got to bang the game. You can't do it. I understand your sentiment, but I think, once you're there, you kind of have to push through and finish the thing. And it was as nasty of a scene as I've seen in a long time.
Well, you think about Padres playing on when Luis Ariz gets taken off on a backboard, and fortunately he was okay, but they do generally press on and finish with the games, even after bad things unfortunately happen.
There was an update on Pittsburgh Pirates Reddit. I don't know if this is true or not, but take it with a grain of salt. Somebody did say, I was sitting 5 rows behind him. He was drunk. The inning before, he ripped his shirt off and poured a beer all over himself. He jumped up from his seat when the Pirates got the hit. He jumped up so quickly while drunk, he literally propelled himself over the ledge. He didn't do it on purpose. Nobody pushed him. He was there with his girlfriend, a friend, and another woman. The friend ran down to the lower deck in center field and then jumped onto the field to see if he was okay. I saw
that. The one that was a female that was sitting next to him. Man, it was it was bad. I mean, look, keep your head about you as you're out there at ball games. You see it a lot too. The foul ball comes and people lose, and that's not the case here, but a foul ball comes and you see people lose all sense of reality, and they're traipsing across seats and they fall, and it's like, man, I'm surprised these things don't happen more at ballparks. So again, man, if you see somebody, that's a little bit out of control and where that could happen, maybe make that call, maybe shoot that text to that number, let them know, hey man, this guy's in danger, and he's endangered himself and others around him right now. But it was a really scary scene.
Scary story. We will move on though with our Padres wrap-up of yesterday's 5-3 win over the San Francisco Giants. We'll get to that right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Still pretty quiet on our roads at this time. Starting to see the usual slowing in the usual spots. Yeah, looking at you, westbound 52 heading out of Santee. Looks like the stalled car might still be on the transition ramp northbound 5 to the eastbound 8 connector over the right shoulder. And Kelly Danick with Bentonwood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
I love winning, man. I love winning. You know what I'm saying? It's like better than losing.
Miss any of the Padres win yesterday? Ben and Woods didn't.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got you covered with all of the highlights.
Oh, yes.
It's the
Padres Wrap-Up.
brought to you by Hamul Casino Resort. Things are about to get real with the all-new Hamul Casino Resort with gorgeous rooms and exciting new eats and drinks. It gets real this summer at Hamul Casino Resort, the player's place.
I want to go fast, but I want to go slow, and I want to go deep.
And the 2-2 is hit on a line into right field. That's down to the base hit. Yastrzemski charging. Sheets is on his way. Here's the throw to the plate. Not in time. RBI single Tyler Wade to give the Padres a 1-0 lead.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The fan stuck his glove over the field of play. However, the ball struck him in the wrist, which was beyond the field of play. It is a home run.
Exactly as we said. So number 2 for Elias Diaz, who now gets high fives in the dugout. Runners take their leads. First pitch to Machado, sliced in the air the other way, charged by Yastrzemski. It'll drop down a base hit. Fernando on to score a third straight single, and the Padre lead is now 3-0. Runners lead at all 3 bases. Iglesias waiting. The first pitch from Bivens swung on, tapped up the third baseline. Gonna be tricky. Bivens barehands it. He's got no play. Arise comes in to score. An infield single for Iglesias, and the Padre lead is 4-0. 3-1. The pitch to Lee, grounded to first base. Arise dives, has to go off his glove, rolls out towards second base, where Bogarts goes to retrieve it. Fitzgerald comes in to score. It's an infield single and an RBI for Jung-Hoo Lee. The Giants are on the board. It's 4-1. 1-0 the pitch. Ramos swings, hits to the air, high and deep to left field. Hayward is back. He will watch this one. Going to go second deck in left field. A long home run for Elliot Ramos. 0-1. Yastrzemski swings, hits it in the air to deep right field. Fernando racing back. He's in front of the wall. He will look up. This one going to go. Home run, Mike Yastrzemski, his 5th of the year, and the 2nd of the day for the Giants, who refuse to go quietly. 0-2 from the Padre closer. The pitch to Bailey, swung on and missed. Strike 3, a filthy changeup, and back-to-back strikeouts for Suarez to end this game. Save number 12 for the Padre closer as the Pods break out the baby brooms and sweep this 2-game set from the Giants, 7-4 last night and 5-3 here this afternoon.
I mean, it's the recipe. You know, it's one of the recipes. We have a lot of them. It gets to the end, but that's the one that we feel good about. Complete game, well played, all phases. You know, it starts on the mound with Michael. I thought he was really good again. Threw the ball exceptionally well.
Michael King did. Threw the ball exceptionally well.
Go ahead, Schulte. Finish.
And that's the end.
That's it. All right.
Exceptionally well. He did.
Asked and answered.
5 2/3 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, 91 pitches for Michael King, who improves to 4-1 on the season and has
that ERA
2.09.
2.09. We are seeing. We are when he takes the mound. I'm like, yeah. I mean, honestly, like it is. I have such a good feeling about winning that baseball game that day. Nick Pivetta has earned that too. It's the Padres. You know, it's not. You're never going to throw your feet up and totally relax. But with Michael King and Nick Pivetta right now, Ben, you feel like we're winning this game. And if we don't win this game, it's going to be because of some weird fluky thing that happens. But our starting pitcher is going to go out there and deliver for us. I think Michael would like to see himself go a little bit deeper into games. I'm sure Schilt would love to see himself go deeper into games. He gets a lot of he gets in some high counts, right? Like some high pitch counts. But I thought he managed it really well early. And then, guys are going to see him the third time through. You're going to get touched up a little bit. But
he was off yesterday.
and he still
really,
pitched
really well.
He could not land his slider early. It was all over the place. And then, what he does is he just locks in. I'm supremely confident, and I'm starting to take him for granted, like I do Manny on defense, right? Like he makes so many spectacular plays. You're like, ho hum, there's another one. And Michael King is just that really, really top of the rotation guy where you feel confident you're winning that game.
That throw from Manny's ass,
man, it was so good.
But
he actually said after the game, it really wasn't that hard. I made it look kind of stylish, but
so great.
Wasn't that tough. One takeaway I had from yesterday's game that I think is becoming increasingly true with the Padres. If they get really any production out of the bottom of their lineup, they're very difficult to beat. It doesn't have to be a ton. Yesterday, they had the Tyler Wade RBI single where he came through in the bottom of the second inning. Hey, T. Wade has been outstanding. He actually, if you looked at the lineup yesterday and you look at all the OPSs, only Fernando has a better OPS than Tyler Wade in that Padres lineup yesterday. He has done a really nice job, 1 for 3 with a walk. He's getting on base at a 4.13 clip. That's actually even better than Fernando. Tyler Wade's done a really, really nice job when they needed him to. And then, the Elias Diaz home run, he went 2 for 4. And those are the 2 runs right there. Now, you get your normal whatever from the top of the lineup, and they got they got a couple of rallies later and scored and added on, which was critical because sometimes you don't add on and things get dicey, but they were able to survive. I mean, the bullpen wasn't bad, but they gave up solo home runs by Estrada and Adam both gave up the solo shots, but the Padres were able to weather that because they got a little extra offense from the bottom of the order, and that's all it really takes for your Padres now.
Well, no doubt, and Adrian Morejon again comes in, gets 2 big outs, and that recipe, Benny, right now of Estrada, Morejon, Adam, Suarez is about as lethal as it can be. And it was so weird to watch Estrada and Robert and Jason Adam blink a little bit because they have just been so locked in. But those guys have pitched the last 4 games. Estrada pitched 22 pitches on Sunday, 17 on Tuesday, 12 on Wednesday. So he'd been a little taxed. Adam had been in. He was in Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, relying on him pretty heavily. And Morejon had thrown 3 of the last 4 games as well. So he's found his recipe, as he calls it. And that's the one he feels locked in and comfortable with right now.
Well, you could tell that Mike Schilt and AJ Preller, I'm sure they discussed this, but they really targeted this 2-game series. You probably won't hear him say it in those terms because it's early in the season and you don't want to build up any particular game or series. But with the 2 off days around it, 2-game series, they sent Kyle Hart down to the minors so they could put Michael King in this start instead of Kyle Hart. They had their bullpen rested. They thought there's no reason we can't use all these guys 2 days in a row because there's another off day coming up on Thursday afterwards. Yep. They wanted to give the Giants, who were off to a really good start, their very best at home and get out to an early lead in the season series. Mission accomplished by your San Diego Padres over the last 2 days. They set that task out for themselves, and they accomplished it.
You had a very well-rested Yuki Matsui. You had a very well-rested Wandy Peralta. You have a very well-rested young kid in Ryan Bergert. You had weapons down there in the bullpen. It was a very conscious decision, in my opinion, to say, no, if we get beat, I'm fine getting beat with Adam, Estrada, and Morejon. And Suarez. If you beat us, I'll tip my hat to you. But I'm not going to give you, especially with the way the Giants are able to grind and add on and score weird runs and good stuff happens to them when, seemingly late in the game. If you're going to beat me, you're going to beat my best. And they weren't able to do that. And credit goes to those guys for probably, in Adam's case, probably being a little bit gassed, man. 23 pitches Saturday, 11 Sunday, 13 Tuesday, 22 yesterday. Probably needs a day off. I'd probably give him a couple. Right? If you can win a game in Pittsburgh in the first game without having to use Jason Adam, that's probably a good idea. He's thrown a very nice 69 pitches in the last 4 games, but high stress, late innings. The guy's been unbelievable. So not surprised by the hiccup, not mad at the hiccup. It was due to happen. It happens to all of them.
Yep. So yeah, this road trip though will look very different with 9 games in I think 10 days, you're going to have to need the whole bullpen.
Absolutely.
You're going to need your depth. It's going to be a different look than these last two games against the San Francisco Giants.
Well, Benny, in different look, think about this too. You mentioned the contributions up and down the lineup yesterday. How much better is it when your catcher reaches out and rips one down the line for a 2-run homer, right, in the 9 spot? How great is it that Tyler Wade is the guy that drives in your first run? Jose Iglesias on the swinging bunt, who I think he's perfected that. He does it so much, I'm actually wondering if he does it on purpose. Manny Machado with a big RBI. Luis Arraez adding on with a triple. I mean, you get contributions up and down the lineup. Xander Bogaerts, again, momentum is weird. We all thought it may get him going, having a nice night the night before. Did not get him going in the slightest. 2 more strikeouts, 0 for 4. Had a chance to drive in a run early with just a sacrifice fly. Couldn't get the job done. So, man.
Did hit a scorching liner, one at bat right at the first baseman.
Yeah.
But, I mean, baseball is weird that way.
It is weird that way. I really thought, okay. I mean, and again, it's not like the next day they had a guy throwing 98 with fuzz and just couldn't catch up to it. It was a guy that you should be able to hit a sacrifice fly on. I know it's very, very hard, trust me. But, again, he's just kind of back to it's one game good, one game bad.
And the Padres went 4 for 8 with runners in scoring position in the last 2 games.
Yeah.
They've come through, whereas they didn't the previous week. They had opportunities the previous week, and they just didn't come through with runners in scoring position. And that's always one of those things that, hey, they just need to hit with runners in scoring position. Yeah. I'm sure they want to, and sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't. And there's not a lot of rhyme or reason about why you do or don't hit with runners in scoring position.
Gavin Sheets with a couple of good ABs, drawing walks, ended up scoring a run. I mean, those things are important for sure. But, hey, man, impressive. Very impressive couple of dubs at home in front of 90,000 people. In 2 games. It was just insane out at Petco Park.
You throw Pavetta and King, you got the home crowd, You're playing a division opponent. Like, that is exactly how you draw it up.
What a beautiful, delicious recipe it turned out to be. And now we're all enjoying the fruits of that recipe, a delicious piece of Padres winning pie.
And while they still are, a little bit below where they were when they started the bad stretch a week and a half ago, they've weathered the storm injury-wise.
Yeah.
It appears. Got Luis Arraez back. You got Jason Hayward back. And when we come back, you'll get the update from Mike Schilt on some of his other players who look like they are knocking on the door for a return during this upcoming road trip. That is coming up next. Hour number 2 of Bennett Woods. Don't go anywhere. San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. We all agree correct call on the Elias Diaz fan interference home run. Guy clearly reached over, Giants fan, by the way, clearly reached over the wall, but it didn't hit the part of the glove that was over the wall. It hit the wrist, and it was close. Am I 100% sure it would have gone over? No.
Even Don was talking about how on the, oftentimes when it hits the top of that
spins
wall,
back,
it's
like
kind of
spins back.
spins back into the field of play. But I thought where it hit his hand was important because it did not hit the glove that was over the wall. It hit his wrist, and I know that hurt because that ball was murdered, and he whiffed it completely. He hit him on the upper wrist. So I thought, I think that's a home run.
There was certainly enough of a chance that it was going to go over that you can't overturn the call on the field, though, which was home run, and that's the standard they use. But important lesson. Giants fan may have cost his team. That ball may have gone back onto the field.
Yeah. Had it been ruled in play, I don't know that they would have changed it.
I agree.
The thing, man. The call on the field was massively important.
Padres fans, just note, don't be Giants fan. Don't reach over the wall, even if it's coming your way. Got to wait until it crosses to make sure your team gets the home run. But
like I said, people lose all sense of decorum and ability to check their body when a ball is coming toward them. They just lose their minds. And so, but I know that dude's got a bruise this morning. I know he does. That ball was, I can't say it. He smoked it.
Stung.
It
was stung. And so,
hyped it.
So is his wrist stinging this morning. Paulie put on a rundown here, and I don't know why, just to make us all feel a little bit worse today. But he said, are you finding yourself getting more and more nervous with each Michael King start that the Padres won't be able to keep him around for several years to come? Yes, Paulie, yes. I am.
Yeah, same.
It's a valid
I am.
Very
discussion point.
He is pitching his way into being the premium free agent of this offseason. Good for Michael King.
Yeah, good for Michael King. Bad for us.
Good for Michael King's agent. Bad for A.J. Preller. Bad for San Diego Padres fans.
Let's get creative, Michael.
They got really creative just to sign him for the 1
Michael,
year this
we got a
year.
deal here. We think it'd be really good for your brand.
Yeah. How about all the exposure you're going to get in San Diego? Tons of exposure. You do what you have to do to keep that guy here for the next 5 years.
He's also just he's a stellar guy.
He's great human.
He's the type of guy that you want.
How do you let
on
him?
Your team
you can't
for years.
You can't let that guy walk.
I think there is certainly some scenarios where the Padres get what will be a massive long-term deal done for Michael King, but I think it's also contingent. They're not going to be able to sign many massive contracts. If they look solid going into next year, they don't have a lot of other holes to fill, then maybe they can devote, whatever money they have in the offseason to Michael King. But figure if they do that, you're finding guys on the margins again the rest of the places. If you feel like you have multiple areas where you need to fill at the end of the season, I don't know that you can put all your eggs into the Michael King basket, as hard as it would be to let him go. If that's all you can do, I'm not sure. So the better, the more production, the more health you have going into next year, I think the more likely it is you can sign Michael King.
You got your third baseman locked up. You've got your center fielder locked up. You got your right fielder locked up. You got your second baseman locked up. You've got a potential catcher in waiting. You've got a few pitchers locked up. Like
you have Xander Bogaerts.
Your shortstop locked up. So the thing is, here's what's going to be hard. And this is way early to talk about this, but why not? Since we brought it up, it's going to be a hard sell to the fan base of, sorry, we couldn't afford Michael King when Petco Park is sold out on a Wednesday afternoon with 45,000 people. That's a really, really hard sell for the fans. Like, okay. You let him walk. All right.
It would be insulting and a tough pill to swallow as a fan, because all you hear so much of the time is how much you need the fans.
Yeah,
come on out.
Every other owner is crying poor right now because their fans aren't coming to the ballpark, and they're saying, well, that's why I'm not spending any money, because nobody shows up to watch this team.
I see in the chat a lot of people say, don't forget about Arise. So if it came down to it and you can only sign one of those two guys,
Michael King.
A King is going to be much more expensive than Arise.
He is.
But I don't think my prediction would be you can't keep both of them. You won't be able to keep both of those guys at the end of this season.
Yeah, imagine Michael King slinging that two-seamer and that sweeper against you wearing LA, Pantone
Now keep
blue.
in mind, you're getting a pitcher back next year, one that's already signed in Joe Musgrove.
Yep.
Now
we could get two if we signed Michael
You
King.
need them both.
Because we've already paid Joe Musgrove. Now we get two.
I
How
am
about that?
curious to see what Luis Ariza's market would look like on the free agent side.
As
of
a-
You're
things.
also losing Dylan Cease as well.
I've already written him off. I think he's gone.
As have I.
In my head,
I have
he's
two.
not going to be a Padre. I'm going to miss him. I like
So
watching Dylan
Musgrove
Cease pitch.
replaces Cease, but you got to keep King.
I
is
mean,
our thinking.
again, like if Jackson Merrill is signing a $15 million a year deal, we can get Luis Ariz. You know what I mean? Like we can get, like you can do. I'm not going to sit here and say there's no way they can do both because I think you can do both. I think you can get creative.
I don't think, knowing that Michael King's probably going to get somewhere in the realm of $30 probably $1 million a year. And Luis Ariz, as you said, even on a decent deal and the 12 to 17 million, I don't think the Padres are going to be able to go out and add $50 million more to their payroll next year.
I don't want to talk about this.
Now you're taking 15 off for
Yeah,
Hosmer.
Eric
Right.
Hosmer.
I'm counting that. I don't think you're still going to be able to add 50 against what you're.
You think Ariza is going to make 20 million?
17.
I would say
16,
12 to
15.
17 is a reasonable
See,
range.
that's when I start when we talked about the Jackson Merrill extension when it happened, and we talked about, guys around the league going to be upset with him for what he's doing to the market. You maybe don't look at the other 29 teams and the free agents. If you're AJ Preller, you just look at what you got going here, and you're like, hey, man, Jackson's doing it for 15. I think Jackson Merrill is going to be more valuable on his contract than Luis Ariz's next contract, right?
Yeah, I think so. I absolutely.
So
think
if Jackson's making 15, it's not out of the realm of possibility that you can get a rise for like a 12.
Yeah,
million
but Jackson had no leverage because he had so many years of team control. Luis Ariz is going to be a free agent. That's the ultimate leverage.
Yeah.
That's where you get your money. It's not the performance so much as your leverage, and Luis will have much more of it. Drew in the chat says, sorry, Drew, Joe Musgrove contract looking horrible right now.
No,
I disagree. I absolutely
He's
disagree.
hurt.
At $20 million coming back at the kind of pitcher he is, that's a steal right now,
man.
with the price tag for Joe Musgrove. Yes, he's hurt, but he's progressing. He said he's now at I think I heard him say 75 feet, throwing well, feeling good. I don't anticipate we see him this year, but given him then an entire offseason, I think you'll have him a little further along than some guys. Dodgers got Tony Gonsolin back. Look pretty good in his first start yesterday. So guys come back from Tommy John surgery now, pitching pretty well. And I think he's going to look really good on that $20 million deal next year. I'm even losing this year. I'm still happy with the Joe Musgrove contract.
Yeah.
And they're going to need pitching next year with or without Michael King.
Yeah.
Because as you said, we all feel like they're going to lose Dylan Cease at the end of this year. As for the rest,
you're going to lose Cease. You're getting Musgrove back, sure. But what do you expect from Darvish in 2026?
That's the other question.
Would we have him for 3 more years?
Yeah.
I don't know that he's going to have too many strong seasons, full-length seasons the rest of the way. So you really, really need to look at how you can bring back a Michael
Well, and
King.
if I'm Jackson Merrill, and I kind of ate it a little bit, in the hopes of the team's going to build and continue to build, that's what I expect. I expect them to go build. I really do. And look, as I said, it's way too early for this talk. Way too early.
We did get an injury update on some of the other guys, though. Luis Ariz and Jason Hayward back. How about Jackson Merrill, Brandon Lockridge, Jake Cronenworth, Yu Darvish? Mike Schultz had an update yesterday on all of those guys as they head out on the road.
Do you have any updates on the guys in Arizona, Lockridge and Merrill, and their progression, and also maybe when Jake might join them?
Jake, I don't know if he's going to join them. Those guys are all on 3 different plans. Locke and Jackson are pretty close to the same plan relative to where they are in their rehab, and they're at the good side of it. They're towards the finish line of it. Locke played back-to-back games in Arizona at the complex on Monday and Tuesday. I think I've got my days right. And then Jackson played last night with Locke Tuesday. And they both got 6 at bats. Locke swung the bat well, played left. Jackson played center. Locke got a bag and won the 2 games. Jackson did a triple. And then he hit a double, and everybody in the dugout yelling him to go for 3.
No.
And I'm watching the video of it, like, please do not try that right now. And he stopped at second. So, but yeah, they're progressing. Jake's with us now, and he's going to head to Arizona today to get some work in as well.
You say toward the finish line. Is that finish line potentially the early part of this road trip?
We're still evaluating. Again, it's where they are in their progressions. They're not all on equal footing, but they're all close to where they're at. And I do expect, things being equal and the recovery still taking place, AJ, that, we'll see them, some version of 1 or 2 of them, early in the road trip, Pittsburgh, and then possibly New York on the second side of it.
I don't know why, but it amuses me to no end picturing Mike Schilt watching highlights that have already taken place and yet still cheering for Jackson Merrill.
No,
please stop a second. Please stop. Do not try to stretch this into another triple. You're recovering from a hamstring injury. Do not, in a complex game, you're not trying to get 3 here.
Come on, bro. It just goes to show you what kind of player that guy is. You can't turn it off, right? Like, it's just, that's who that guy is. And maybe to his detriment at this point as you are recovering from a hammy.
Like Joe in a spring training game falling,
diving.
Like,
come on, man.
Throwing off balance and diving. Please don't.
You can't just turn it off. You just can't. And they need to. So hopefully Jackson's back and Lockridge for the Pittsburgh series. It sounds like that's a possibility.
Sounded like it. One of them, if not both, could be back during the series that starts tomorrow in Pittsburgh, and then both of them should be back by the time they get to New York on Monday to face the Yankees.
So Brandon wants to know, with 3 guys coming off the IL, Jackson, Croney, and Lockridge, and they will be coming off at different times. You may see a Merrill Lockridge off the IL. Who goes down? Who stays? I'm keeping Tyler Wade on my team. Tyler Wade, obviously he's not going to be playing center field if Jackson Merrill's up, but he can. Brandon Lockridge, because Tyler Wade can also play in the infield.
Tirso still has options. I think he goes down. Connor Joe, I would certainly think could possibly be headed back down. If y'all have all 3 of them back,
Tirso probably.
That's 2 of them. I mean, Oscar Gonzalez, I kind of like. I don't necessarily want to lose him, but
I don't know that you can keep him and Tirso.
Right, somebody's got to go. Somebody's got to go down.
Yeah, no, Tirso I think goes down for sure. When Jackson probably comes back, and then Lockridge, probably Connor Joe. You're adding speed. I mean, Lockridge is definitely a value to the team.
Oh yeah,
probably above where Connor Joe is at this point. And then these things tend to work themselves out. Someone else says that a bump or a bruise somewhere, but
an ouchie.
At this point, those would be the first 2 that I would think would be on the plane back to El Paso.
I don't know if Oscar has any more options, right?
I think now that he is on the 40 man, I don't think he's out of options.
Okay.
They had to get him onto the 40 man originally, but now that he is, I believe he does have options.
Yep. Yeah, Tyler Wade's absolutely earned his spot. I think he's going to be here for the rest of the year. The way he's played and filled in and contributed, to be honest, and can play multiple positions, can play the infield, can play the outfield. So he's turning into a valuable player.
Don't Do This is coming up next. Know the rules of baseball, apparently. One team got burned by not knowing the rules well enough, and I'll admit I wasn't aware of this one either. We'll get to that coming up next with Ben and Woods after a check of traffic with Kelly here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Got it in season, Sammy. Sam Levitt will join us in about 15 minutes. First, though, it is time for DDT, brought to you by Trust and Will. Don't leave your entire estate, house, kids, and life savings up to chance if and when you die.
Do
set up a trust or will online at trustandwill.com. This is a lot more affordable than you think. Visit trustandwill.com for more info.
I will get us started today in the great game of baseball. The Angels, they started the season with some promise. They did. They were playing pretty inspired baseball. They are fifth place in the West now. They are 12-17, and things are not going well. They've been self-imposed some really odd travel. It's kind of killing them, and it's their fault. They're self-imposed. The way that they have created their schedule, when they leave, when they fly out. There's a big story about it in the Athletic.
So they don't do it like the way the Padres do. As soon as the game's over, they just hop on a flight.
It's been a weird season for them. They have pushed some games back. And obviously try to generate more revenue. And it's not really working for their players. Their players have been vocal about it. They've complained. I think maybe their manager is starting to lose it as well. I love Sam Blum, who writes for I believe the OC Register. Is that right? And he covers the Angels. Oh, no, he's with the Athletic now. He covers the Angels for the Athletic. He writes yesterday, well, the Angels just had two pitchers go to the mound. Ryan Johnson from the dugout and Jake Eater from the bullpen. Now, by rule, Johnson has to face at least one batter. He had already thrown the inning before.
So They wanted to replace him, but apparently no one told him he was coming out of the game, so he went back out for the next inning.
Yep, grabbed the ball, threw a warm-up pitch, and they said, oh, by rule, you got to face one batter. So it's not the world's greatest look. Sam says, more importantly, it shows how much of a mess this game, road trip, etc., has been for the Angels. They also lost Mike Trout yesterday. Mike Trout hit a ground ball, was busting it down the line, hit first base, and was removed from the game after that. Looks like it's a knee injury for Mike Trout. He got injured on the very same day last year as well.
I did see that he thought maybe minor and could even be back on the field today. But by the way, Mike Trout hitting 179.
Yeah, it's a tough scene, man.
This season.
It is a tough scene. And so, yeah, again, it's just such a bad look. It looks like you're not prepared. It looks like you're not communicating.
Mike Schilt would never.
Mike Schilt could never.
So it's interesting. Our friends at Cespedes Family Barbecue, I assume this is Jake, tweeted yesterday. One time I was playing shortstop in high school, and as a dumb joke, I pretended to throw a warm-up pitch on the way out during an inning. I had to face the first batter, Cole. The pitcher went to short, then we switched back. Yeah. Anyway, go Angels.
Yeah.
I did not realize that was a rule. Like if you throw a warm-up pitch, even as a joke, you're now the pitcher. And you have to go into the game and at least face one batter.
Yeah, Jesus says, I thought it was a minimum 3 batters for pitchers. It is, but he had thrown the inning before. So he had ticked off his 3 batters, but he had to go one more. And, the only bright side, Ben, no one told him he was coming out. So it's not like he shut down and was like, all right, my work here is done. He thought he was going out. So he did have to face one more batter. They brought Jake Eater in, and they ended up losing the game anyway. Very, very tough for the Los Angeles Angels of Los Angeles, California.
Obviously, for story number 2, plenty of publicity for the prank phone call that Shedeur Sanders got during the draft. Turned out, of course, it was the son of the defensive coordinator for the Falcons who got the number off his dad's iPad. And
apparently we missed a bunch of prank calls.
But I guess I saw like 3 or 4 other draftees reported later. Yeah, I also got a prank phone call. And Paul, you said there's another one that was actually the audio or video was posted on the web?
Yeah, I saw the video and there was some cursing, so I had to not show the video for our YouTube audience. I got the audio because I'd edit it, but Mason Graham was prank called last week. A Bucks fan, a young man and his friends sitting in a dorm room or whatever, and they're filming the phone call and they zoom in on the phone number that's private and only for these players. And I just, again, like, I don't know that anybody's going to go to jail for this, but the self-incriminating part of all of this is always just mind-blowing to me.
It's so mind-boggling to me.
Like, let me get a nice, clear close-up of my face.
Hey,
here's going to zoom in on the phone number.
We broke into Joe Burrow's house. Here's me wearing his chain. Like, all right. And it's on Instagram and TikTok.
How do you feel bad for anybody if they get any sort of punishment? So
I'd say it's actually a really good time to be a criminal if you're a smart criminal, because there's so many dumb criminals out there. You really set yourself apart.
Yeah.
Let's get a crew together and start heisting things, because I think we could do it. You plan it. Paulie will do logistics. I'll execute.
All right.
Sounds good.
We drive the getaway
now we
car.
just told everybody.
Drive the getaway car.
We just told everybody.
Oh, crap. We just did what we said not to do. All right.
So here's what that phone call sounded like.
Hello.
Hey, is this Mason?
Yes, sir.
Hey, this is Kevin Stefanski with the Cleveland Browns. You want to be a Brown, buddy?
Yes, sir.
All right, bring your ass. Dumb no chance, bro. Go Bucks. You like clown. You're a clown. You're actually a clown.
Yes, he's the clown.
That guy is way worse than the other guy.
Yes.
Way worse. Way worse. That prank call was way worse than Shedeur's.
The
way
one with
worse.
Shedeur.
At least, though, they knew it was a prank within 5 seconds, as opposed to never really revealing the fact that it was a prank.
I think that's what makes, just strictly on the basis of whether or not it's a good prank, I think that's what makes the first one, the Shedeur one, a better prank.
Yeah, this one
because you had the video of like Shedeur's buddy or his brother or whoever filming him taking the phone call, thinking he was getting drafted, and he's like, "What does that mean?" I had to keep waiting. What does that mean? What did he mean by that? And then they realize, oh, it must have been a prank call. This one, they wasted no time.
I saw someone make a fairly smart suggestion that if the NFL wants to do away with this, just announce to all GMs that any calls to draft picks will be done via FaceTime. And you could really pretty much eliminate most of the prank calls, because if it looks like the GM, I mean, I guess you could really go elaborate, but otherwise it's going to be pretty obvious if it's real or not.
Here's the other one. Just have them watch it on TV and hear like everybody else. Because
what is the point?
What's the
alerting
point?
someone in advance?
You're the draft pick.
Yeah.
All right, I'll be the draft pick. You're the GM.
All right.
Hello.
Hey, Stephen Woods. This is Mickey Loomis, general manager of the Saints.
Hey.
We're about to take you with the 77th pick in the
I
draft.
don't want to play for the Saints, man. Call somebody else. It's not going to happen. Just let them watch on TV like everybody else does.
It really.
Hey, we're going to take you with the next pick. Oh, no, I wouldn't. You don't want to take me. Take my buddy. He's way better.
Is it just a courtesy call?
It's a courtesy.
Like we're about to take you, and we don't want you to be surprised.
Just
we
let
want
them
you
watch
to
on.
know. I guess you could just let them watch.
Let
on
them watch
TV.
it, and everyone gets to sit there and they didn't call my name. All right, well, hopefully they call my name soon, and you sit there and rot like everybody else has to.
When guys are actually there at the draft, they don't get a call, do they?
No, yeah, they do.
They sometimes get a call, so you see them
in
in the green room.
Yeah.
They get the call. Then the name gets
the
called.
agent gets it and hands it over. Yeah, you do see it. All right, let's go do this.
DD Mega Doo-Doo.
Well, very rare that I'm going to praise a National League West rival, as it were, a division rival, the Colorado Rockies. I got to give them some credit, Benny. They ended an 8-game losing streak.
Has it really gotten to the point that even a single win is now do this territory?
Well, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why it is. They avoided. The reason it's a due to they avoided joining the 1988 Baltimore Orioles as the only teams since 1901 to lose at least 26 of their first 30 games. So as they turned the calendar, Benny, on the month of April, I'm sure they're going to be very happy to see May coming because they avoided that record. But yeah, they did. They beat Chris Sale, man. Beat him 2-1 yesterday. Brenton Doyle hit a tie-breaking home run off of Chris Sale in the third inning. A 2-1 victory over the Braves. Again, avoiding the 1988 Baltimore Orioles as the only team since 1901 to lose 26 of their first 30.
I guess I'll throw in a do this for the Mariners, Guardians, Orioles, Pirates, Phillies,
Well, they're
Royals.
not. They weren't about to
Blue
break a record.
Jays,
They weren't about to break a
Brewers,
record.
Athletics, and Cardinals twice, who swept a doubleheader.
Yeah.
For yesterday's victories in Major League
So
Baseball.
congratulations to Buddy Black. You're officially off the hook for the worst start in Major League
Sure,
Baseball.
he enjoyed a nice craft beer after the game in honor of that amazing accomplishment of not being the worst team of all time after 30 games.
Yeah, that's a big one.
And that's don't and sort of kind of do this for a Thursday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
In season, Sam Levitt will help us wrap up the Padres homestand that was. Look ahead to a big 9-game East Coast and Rocky Mountain road trip coming up for your San Diego Padres. That is next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Well, for over 8 years, QC Kinetics has been the nation's leader in non-surgical relief for joint pain with over 50,000 satisfied patients. I am one of them. Lots of people out there with knee, back pain, now living pain-free. Shoulder and hip pain is gone. And what they're doing here in San Diego is nothing short of remarkable. They are using regenerative cell therapy to restore the tissue in your achy joints. It makes sense, right? My joints, my wrists were so achy wasn't even the right word. It was painful to the touch. And every time I do one of these spots, I find myself grabbing my wrists and squeezing them and thinking, that's crazy. It's crazy. I could not touch them. It would almost bring me to my knees when I would bang my wrist against something. Now, no problems at all. I'm going to be in the gym here in a few hours, lifting heavier weights than I ever have before. They completely changed my life, repaired old tissue in my wrist. And now, obviously the best part with QC Kinetics, no drugs, no surgery, no downtime. It's all natural, cellular level option with lasting relief. So call them today, 619-614-PAIN, 619-614-PAIN, QC Kinetics. Call them today. Got appointments available in Torrey Hills and in Hillcrest, 619-614-PAIN. Let them know that Woodsy sent you to QC Kinetics.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Seeing where our chat goes. Sometimes it goes in its own direction on our YouTube stream.
It really does.
Today, a lot of people talking still about my lips.
Your lips have been a huge topic of conversation.
And actually, I've got nothing going on the lips today. I think this is just the natural glow of finally healing from my weekend of chapping. Now it's just one little scab here in the middle. That it just cracked so badly that now I just need to wait for that thing to completely heal. But I don't have any limp plumper. I actually don't even have any chapstick on right now.
Nothing.
This is just
they're naturally shiny.
This is just naturally shiny lips today.
Yeah, those are. It looks like it hurts a little bit.
It's much better than it was earlier.
It's the Bob Melvin lip.
It's the good healing that's going on.
All the proteins from the milk that you dipped your lower lip in.
Maybe that's it. Maybe I've come up with the revolutionary new lip therapy that's going to be hitting spas across the nation. Paulie AI'd me. You got the sweatshirt right. That's pretty much a 10-day sweatshirt, but it doesn't even look like me.
It looks like you a little bit.
It kind of looks like you.
It looks like you a little bit.
It's more like Raul Martinez
it
from
does.
Fox 5, I think.
Yes.
The hair is pretty accurate, actually.
It's almost identical.
Just soaking your lips in a bowl of milk.
It's like an actor playing.
It's more of a cup of milk, but yeah, it's pretty much what I did. And look at how shiny and healthy looking my lips are now.
Look at them now.
It's the new treatment. Sam Levitt is standing by in season. Sammy will help us wrap up the Padres homestand right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Islands Restaurants. Couple of problems in the North County, westbound 78 near Jefferson. Crash involving a car and a big rig. It's over to the right shoulder. Now we're getting reports of a collision on southbound 5 just past the San Onofre nuclear plant. Solo vehicle accident over the right shoulder. And looks like this crash has cleared on southbound 15 past the 76. Big on protein, rich on flavor. The new $10 Islands Restaurants protein bowls are here for a limited time. Packed with over 40 grams of protein and stacked with fresh ingredients for the flavors you love. Just in a bowl. Find your protein paradise at islandsrestaurants.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's gonna be May.
Damn it, Paul.
We just want to make Sammy feel comfortable now that the month of May has arrived and is fully announced as Sam Levitt, Padres Eco Water SoCal Pre, and Hamul Casino post-game show host joins us here on 97.3 The Fan. Good morning, Sammy.
Hi, guys. Good morning. And yes, I thought Petco Park did an excellent job with the music over the course of this two-game series. I'll tell you what was interesting. Not only did they play in sync yesterday, which I thought was good with May being today in the final game of April at the ballpark,
right.
But there were also two different moments where they played Spice Girls and they played Backstreet Boys. This is all in the last couple of days, and I did not do any investigating to see what exactly was going on, because those three songs, it was Spice Up Your Life, I think it was I Want It That Way by the Backstreet Boys, and It's Gonna Be Me by NSYNC. Those are three songs that to me are not in the typical rotation, so I need to investigate who was behind that, because in my opinion, and Woodsy, you'll disagree, I thought they did a great job. Nice little vibe at the ballpark.
Why do you have tastes like my wife?
Well,
I guess you guys
don't.
the same
I
age.
like
your wife. Yeah, fair.
I enjoy a ton of different music, but you have to understand when you are like 8-9 years old,
yeah,
and it's boy band fever, Woodsy. I'm telling you,
Were you
had you been of age had you been of age and you've been going to Jones Beach and Madison Square Garden to see NSYNC, you would feel the same way. I will encourage people, okay? I will encourage people, go on YouTube and look up Madison Square Garden NSYNC, the HBO special. And I'm telling you, if you thought that NSYNC was just like this, I mean, they obviously are this very poppy boy band, but I think there's a real appreciation to what these guys were when you look at the dancing and the quality of the show. Like,
all right, Sammy, thanks for your time today. We're going to talk to you next week. We'll see you out at the ballpark in a couple weeks.
YouTube, MSG, NSYNC, HBO. You'll not be disappointed.
I guess the age difference really rears its ugly head. Sammy, I was 9. I was listening to Kiss, and then right, which was kind of they were all in makeup and blowing fire and all that. So it's a different type of boy band, I guess, back then. But I did see that, and it does make me crazy every year. But you also realize, Holly, you realize that we're just 3 days away from May the 4th be with you. So May is just the month of bits. Yeah, it's great. It's great.
And I've never seen a Star Wars movie in my life.
Never once.
I don't see them. I take that back. I saw the first one, whatever the first chronological one that came out was. I saw that. Wasn't really into
Star
it.
Wars.
I never saw the I'm not a huge Star Wars guy.
That would
I saw the one that came out in like 99 or whatever, 2000.
So
Anakin
the
Skywalker.
Force Awakens.
But that was supposed to be the first one.
Yeah, like the backstory of Darth Vader.
Yeah, it's the only one
Young
I've seen.
Anakin Skywalker.
Darth Maul.
Yeah. All right. Well, why don't we talk some Padres baseball since we have Sammy here for a few minutes? Really good bounce back, Sam, after obviously the getting swept by the Rays. We never want to put too much emphasis on one particular game or 2-game series, this early in the season, still April. But it did feel like the Padres, and I said this earlier, kind of targeted these 2 games, knowing they had days off before and after, get their bullpen and rotation set up. They really wanted to win these games, and they came through, Sam. They did, I think, exactly what Mike Schilt and A.J. Preller set them up to do.
I think it's an excellent point. I mean, you can look at the offense and obviously feel really good about the way they bounced back and the way that they had a couple of guys show up and Arise and Hayward, and all of a sudden it looked like the offense we saw in the first 2-3 weeks, stringing hits together, moving the line. You look at what they did with runners in scoring position. They were excellent yesterday. They were 5 for 9 on Tuesday with runners in scoring position. They were getting hits with 2 outs, producing runs. It really was kind of remarkable to see them all of a sudden, and maybe it was an off day, maybe it was just getting Arise and Hayward back, but it really was remarkable to see them pep up offensively the way they did, and you now go on the road and you feel pretty good about who they are again, which is great to see. But Ben, it's a really good point, because beyond the offense, they did set things up to have Nick Pivetta and Michael King throw against the Giants, a team that had been playing really well, hitting the ball really well, and certainly that was a big part of 2 close wins, the way Pivetta and King threw, and those 2 guys continue to be great. So I think it's a really good point. The offense was certainly a big part of the 2 wins, but them setting things up with their rotation against the divisional opponent that was off to a good start, that was certainly a key part of it as well.
It's funny, man. I saw a couple of Giant fans. I think they do a podcast or some sort of deal, and they were out in the nosebleeds, and they posted a video, and they're like, dude, we lost to the Padres, and, this sucks. He goes, they're treating it like it's their World Series. And I thought to myself, it's kind of a tired insult. But, Sammy, the way I look at it, any game in the West this year, I'm going to treat it like it's my World Series, pretty much. Yeah. You know what I mean? I think as a fan, you want to beat these guys. We are going to be tooth and nail for a wild card or a division. I mean, really, like it is going to be tooth and nail with this division. I don't see a lot of teams giving at all. I see a lot of teams out there going to be fighting. So I think that's important. And I think that's a really interesting thing that you guys have brought up today of, they weren't going to mess around with the division rival. And I wonder if we'll see more of it down the road, Sammy. These games are massively important.
Yeah, and the reality was they weren't going to play 5 consecutive games until they do that when they play in New York in this upcoming road trip. So I thought it made a ton of sense when they sent Kyle Hart down and said they were going to stick with 4 starters. And I think it's also potentially a function of the way they were playing at the time and the fact that they had so many injuries and they were playing compromised already that you were going to try to, figure out a way to put your best team on the field every single game. And that included, skipping, some spots in the rotation and using the off days to their advantage. So I'm with you, Woodsy. Look, I think the Giants are going to be good. How good, I think, is the question. Are they going to keep up the kind of pace they were on? Probably not. Arizona's going to be good. We know the Dodgers are going to be there, and it's not about the division. I mean, it is. If you can be there at the end and fighting for it, that's great. But there's a real possibility you could be fighting for wild card spots with the Giants and with the Diamondbacks. So, yeah, when you play these teams and you play them as many times as you do, 13 times each, it's going to be really important. And I had no problem with the Padres, obviously, really tailoring things to give themselves the best chance to win these 2 games and really until they needed that 5th starter. So it was good to see. And again, I just really love the way they kind of woke up offensively and all of a sudden, looked like the team you fell in love with the first 2-3 weeks. I thought it was a great sign as they go on the road now.
Sammy, you say the wake up offensively, and certainly that was the case. And I think it's confusing to people because they look at Luis Arraez and Jason Hayward, and Arraez did have a couple of hits, had that triple yesterday, but that doesn't give you 6 runs. That's one hit. Hayward went 0 for 3. He walked once. What's the big difference? But I don't think people realize the trickle down effect of a lineup. It's not simply that you've got those guys in there, but you also have Tirso Ornelas and Connor Joe, who have not been producing at all, taken out of the lineup. And you're left with Tyler Wade, who's been decent at the bottom of the order, and of course, Elias Diaz comes through, which was huge yesterday. The Padres really got past that tipping point of injuries where they just had too many to sustain themselves offensively. And it only took a couple of guys coming back to at least mitigate it. And now it looks like, based on what Mike Schultz said yesterday, could be getting everybody back relatively soon, it looks like.
Yeah, and I think one of the interesting things that they're going to have to decide, and they can keep obviously both guys, but they'll have to decide, if they want to put Brandon Lockridge on the roster, right? Are they going to send? I mean, I suppose Tirso would maybe be an easy guy to send down whenever Lockridge is ready, but obviously they're going to have to make corresponding moves to when Lockridge and Merrill, 2 outfielders, come back, and you have somebody in Tyler Wade who, to your point, Ben, has been awesome. Like, I don't know. It's kind of hard for me to see Tyler Wade going down right now with the way he's playing and the way he's responded to coming back up. So it's going to be interesting on that front. And it sounds like Merrill and Lockridge are really, really close. And we're going to see him in the next handful of days. And Jake Cronenworth is going to go to Arizona next and start getting his work in there. So they're going to be back at full strength, hopefully, at some point on this road trip, which is great. To your point, Ben, on the lineup itself, I was talking about this with Tony yesterday, and I think you make a good point because it's like, what does just adding a couple of guys, how could that make them look so different so quickly offensively? And we were talking about with Luis Arraez, and so many guys have said it in that clubhouse going back to last year, the way he impacted this team's offensive approach. But I think you look at something as simple as Arraez batting second, and the way he puts together an at-bat, the way he sees pitches. Now Manny is hitting behind him. It gives you a chance to see more from the opposing pitcher, see more from a reliever, and the real impact that can make. So, they've talked about it for a long time, the impact of Luis Arraez. This team, you could argue, kind of took on his personality offensively when he got here, from the way they hit to the way they approach it, to the way they're able to put the ball in play. It's very Luis Arraez-ish. It really is. So was that a coincidence that they kind of woke up offensively and started looking that way more when he returned? Might be a little bit of that, but there is a value that clearly Luis in particular brings to this lineup. And thankfully, it all kind of, coincided together. Luis coming back and them kind of finding that offensive approach again.
I got Sammy Levitt, in-season Sammy, joining us here on May 1st. It's going to be May, in fact. Dylan Cease on the bump tomorrow night against Mitch Keller. TBD the next couple of days. What are you hearing about what they're going to do? Probably Vasquez one day, and then what? Because they did send Kyle Hart down.
It would be Vasquez and Pivetta. If they go
again.
in order, and then they need someone on
Right.
Tuesday for the Yankees in Kyle Hart's spots, right?
Yeah, I would think so. We'll see. I would think you're right. It would probably be Vasquez and Pivetta to keep them on kind of the every 5 days, and then they're eventually going to need somebody. Now, look, that's going to be a really interesting decision for them. Is Kyle Hart going to come back up? Maybe. Could you see
pitching at Yankee Stadium too?
Right. Would be. It's a great point. Like, I'm going to be very interested to see who, when they need that fifth spot to come back up, who that is going to be.
Well,
and I don't know that they're.
Is it dependent too on how it goes in Pittsburgh? You know what I mean?
Or would you rather have the fifth starter face the Pirates on Sunday and push Pivetta back to Monday, give him the extra 5 days of rest instead of 4, and have him go against the tougher lineup? I think there's an argument to be made either way.
Sure, and it could also depend on how things line up in the minors and who's throwing what day. And look, I'll be honest, I haven't paid attention to it enough to see where, say, a Kyle Hart and Stephen Kolek are, like on their throw days, and how that's all lining up. But it's a good point, and that's probably why they have not announced the starters for those games yet. Either it's being calculated, or they don't want to say it yet. But it is an interesting decision to see, okay, when they do need to go back to 5, they made a clear decision to keep it at a 4-man rotation when they could. When they have to go back to 5, when it becomes a necessity, what do? And is that Hart? Is that a Stephen Kolek? Is that somebody else? Is there a different approach to it? So it will be among the more interesting decisions the next few days, for sure. And look, as far as the Pirates, I mean, look, one thing about this series I would say, Mitch Keller is really good. He's been on a great run on Friday. That's not an easy customer on Friday. You have Andrew Heaney on Sunday, who's also been very, very good so far. So Pirates aren't playing well. There's a lot of fan, criticism of what's going on there from a baseball side of things, and the ownership and all that. And obviously they've got the superstar in Paul Skeens, and they're not winning, but they are going to face 2 pretty good starting pitchers Friday and Sunday. So it is something to note, and how they approach the starting rotation. The final couple of games in Pittsburgh and in-state Yankee series, I'm with you guys. That's something to watch, and going to be interesting to see kind of if they go to a who's up next, or if they go back to Kyle Hart.
Sammy, enjoy your OB coffee shop day off, if that's your plan, and we'll get you tomorrow for a 2:40, I believe, pregame show. Before the Pirates. So kind of almost a sort of day game for Padres fans tomorrow in the opener to the 3-game series at PNC Park.
Yeah, should be an interesting series. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you, buddy.
Appreciate it.
In season, Sammy Levitt joins us each and every Thursday here on the program. We got Eno Sarris coming up in our next hour. I don't know if we mentioned it since we brought up Jason Hayward's return. Did we talk about his catch?
Fantastic catch, man.
And what a critical time, too.
Just
with the tying run
You'll never get me to hate Jason Hayward, I'm telling you.
And
You'll never get me to hate him.
He's not going to be a superstar for the Padres, but that's the other thing. That's an upgrade defensively when you have Jason Hayward, I believe, out in left field.
Yeah.
He's just a solid player. He's a solid guy in that clubhouse, and that was a play they absolutely needed to have. You just have one drop in there. You can easily see the wheels coming off the wagon.
Oh, big time.
At that point. Save Jason Adams' bacon, save the Padres' bacon. Such a good play by Jason Hayward, and not an easy one at all.
No, not at all. Very happy to have him back, and I love the guy. I love the guy. I want the absolute best for him when he gets his opportunity. So it was a big catch, huge catch. I was actually coaching Little League, and one of the dads kind of came up. We got there way early as usual, and he goes, "You see Jay Hayes' catch?" I go, "No, I missed it. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it." And he pulled it up on his phone. I went, "Oh man." Nobody happier than Jason Adam in that moment.
He doesn't look like a speedster, but he had to run 98 feet and slide to make that catch just above the turf there in the 8th inning to rob who was it? Jung-Hoo Lee, I believe. That was and he's been really good. By the way,
really good.
Maybe the biggest difference maker for the Giants so far this season has been Jung-Hoo Lee, who looks like an all-star right now for those
question.
guys.
No question.
All right, we are 2 hours in. We will come back. Again, we've got Real or Fake on a Throwback Thursday. We got Eno Sarris for some smart baseball talk, all coming up next. Ben Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, we're halfway home on a Thursday. Ben and Woods 97.3 The Fan. Today is May 1st. Thanks so much for being here. We will have the round table coming up right after we get off the show at 10 a.m. Brought to you by Round Table Pizza. Ben Higgins will be your host. He's also your friendly neighborhood sports anchor. Joins us this morning.
I thought Chrisella was the new host.
No, Chrisella is not the new host. You are always going to be the official host if you are.
I need to come up with some questions.
No questions yet?
No, I thought Ella was doing it. Well, I thought he just replaced me.
You guys can kick around some ideas.
Some questions.
All right. Paul Reindl, your executive producer of the program. Yesterday looked, it really looked like the perfect day at Petco Park. They all look great, but those day games, and I had to do something that filled me with instant regret. And I think that it's very, so we have a tier one named Patrick who has the best seats in the house, pretty much, the home plate club. Yeah. Like they're unbelievable. If you've never sat in the home plate club and you ever get the chance to, take it, hold on to it like grim death and don't let it go. And we've all sat there before. Yeah. Right.
Yes.
Yeah. It's incredible.
Yes.
You got all the food and drink you can
It's almost overwhelming.
It's overwhelming.
The options,
yes.
And you want to try everything, but you can't, and you feel like you have to pace yourself, but then you have to rush and get everything in as fast as possible. And the game just is like it's over, and all of a sudden you're like, wait,
I didn't get
this, I didn't get that. I
know.
need to do more when I'm back there.
But I had to laugh because I had to turn Patrick down. I had a little league game at 4. Now, originally, I thought it was a night game. So my plan was, when he texted me in the show a couple days ago, do you want these tickets? I said, hang on. I wrote Hannah, my wife, and I said, here's what we'll do. I'll coach the game at 4, and then at 5:30, we'll get in the car and we'll leave the kids with a sitter and we'll go down and sit in his incredible seats. She goes, it's a day game. And you told me as well, it's a day game. I said, oh, well, I can't. Then I'm going to have to miss it. And I had to, because we had a game at 4. I would have gotten to go for 20 minutes, and you're not going to take those seats if you can only sit there for 20 minutes. But you got the tickets.
Well,
and then you had to turn
after
it
you
down.
turned him down, he asked if I wanted to go, and I also turned him down. I said, I've got to work Channel 10. I don't have
Is there
anyone to back me
anything
up.
worse than turning those down?
Just for work too, felt like, oh, that is rough, because I would really like to do it, but they really like to get more than 24 hours notice.
Yeah.
If I'm going to take a day off, and it just leaves them in the lurch. We're already kind of shorthanded, so I just felt like I can't do it. I did tell him though. I said, find someone who really would like them and appreciate them. But if you get to tomorrow and no one can go, I think my wife and son are free tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think she's off work. So let me know if no one's going. And he DM'd me about, I don't know, 11:30 yesterday. I mean, it was an hour and a half from game time. He goes, I still haven't given them away. Do they want them? And I said, let me call. And
sick. They
took them and they went, had a great time. I really haven't had the full rundown. All I heard, because he said, get the hot hen fries. So I told Shelley to get the hot hen fries.
I've had the hot hen sandwich.
They have hot hen fries.
I did not know that.
And so she got them, and she said they were amazing.
Man, I've not had those yet. But it's like passing those tickets up is I was like, well, I could, in my mind, I go, I could probably get another dad to coach. And if Hannah can't go, I could probably find somebody to go. Having to turn them down was very, very tough for you and me as well. It's like, when are you going to, how many?
I almost feel bad because I didn't turn them down. So now I feel like I'm at the bottom of the list again if he ever needs them, because I just got them.
I didn't get to go.
I didn't get to go.
Ooh,
but I didn't want to be selfish.
He DM'd you. Is that your first DM you've ever checked and answered? That's what I want to know. Yes.
Priorities. What's
priorities?
priorities?
You're an opportunistic fellow. And you took an opportunistic. What is that? A vulture?
Vulture.
He's opportunistic. No, and again, on a day like that, to sit in those seats, it looks elite.
I mean, are the Padres concerned? It actually was not a sellout yesterday.
Was it not? I thought it was like 40,000.
37,698.
I thought it was more
on a Wednesday afternoon. Still, with the 2 games, that's 85,000 people for a 2-game series, middle of the week, including a day game. There's not a team in baseball that wouldn't instantly sign up. Probably like mortgage their own children. If you're asking most CEOs of baseball teams if they could get that kind of attendance for a midweek series for 2 games. They go,
you kill for 37,000.
Kill for that.
I thought the number was higher, but well, listen, I missed the number there. Missed the game yesterday. That's a good point you make about, though. I feel like since I turned them down, maybe I'll get another crack.
Exactly.
Yeah, actually, if you get them before me, I'm going to be real mad. You know what I'm saying? Like, since I had to turn them down, and you got them,
right?
You didn't get to go,
but we used them and appreciated. Maybe that moves me up on the list in the future.
We could take this to court. Patrick's sitting there squirming right now, like, I'm not giving them to either of you clowns.
I doubt he doesn't use them very often. It's probably pretty rare.
If you had those, it'd be. I talked to him. I sat there with him before, and he said, "Yeah, we went to 81 games last year," and I go, "That's too much. That's too much for me. I couldn't do it. I couldn't go to all 81 and eat like that. I'd be a whale. I would be an absolute whale, sucking down hot hen fries and ice cream and M&Ms in there, all the stuff that you like." And
see, now I would pass on all the regular snacks.
You would just get the stuff.
Like,
that
I
you
can get M&Ms at the convenience store.
Fair.
I can get Red Vines at the movie theater. Whatever. I will pass on those. I want the specific Petco Park items that you really can't get anywhere else, like hot hen fries or the lobster rolls or whatever you can get there. I like to try the different items.
Well, it's such a rad day. I got to take Bo and his buddy down there one time, and of course you do that, right? You take your kids down there. So now Jack's going to be expecting that every game, Ben. Well, your kid, he's a little older. My kid now is like, "Oh, we don't get to sit in the spot with all the good food anymore." I'm like, "No, this isn't. Don't get used to this. This is a privilege, not a right to go sit in those great seats." But yeah, it was a great day, man. Great day to be down there at Petco Park. It usually is. Yeah, I was bummed to give them up.
Beautiful weather. We got a little May gray now this morning, and June gloom coming up next.
Yep.
So you know how it works, San Diego. Say goodbye to the sun for a couple of months, and then it'll be back in July. And we'll enjoy our summer.
Yes.
But, yeah, that definitely looks – I don't know how the calendar – I don't know how it knows.
It knows.
May 1st that we're going to get completely socked in, but seems to be every year that May arrives and the gray just glooms right on in.
That's right.
All right, Padres are off today, and they are in Pittsburgh. They will open a 3-game series tomorrow. We'll have Mike Schiltz on tomorrow, our Manager's Report at 9 a.m. You can tune in for the Manager's Report, refreshed by Eco Water SoCal. Try alkaline water for just $9.95 a month. Eco Water SoCal, keeping it soft since 1925.
How fantastic is that?
It is fantastic. Got to chat with Schilty 2 days ago in the locker room, and glad that they are coming off a couple of wins.
That was when he had his pie.
He had his pie, yeah.
Now, did you stop him when did he walk by with a piece of pie?
He had the piece of pie
on a plate
in his hand, but then when I stopped him, he had already consumed it, maybe? I don't know.
So he walked by.
He walked by with the pie from his office toward the lunchroom, if I remember correctly. It's weird. You would think you'd go to the lunchroom, grab the pie, and come the other way. I actually think he had the pie as he was heading toward the lunchroom and then didn't have it as he returned when I talked to him.
So maybe he had the pie in his office. He goes, I know better than this. I can't eat it at my desk. And I went, no, he was, I'm going to eat this in the lunchroom like I'm supposed to. And he went in, ate it in the lunchroom, then came out and talked to you.
You think there's a rule you're not supposed to eat in your office?
Well, we're not allowed to eat.
Did they get ants?
We're not allowed to eat in here, but we skirt the rules from time to time. But Schilty and the pie is really.
I didn't know what kind of pie.
I need to know. There's so much I need to know about it.
Maybe I was wrong.
Hot? Did he heat it up?
Do you want me to? Should I ask him?
Yeah,
tomorrow?
we'll ask him tomorrow.
We'll ask him tomorrow.
What kind of pie was that?
If it was in fact pie,
is that a standard pregame meal for you?
Ben asked him about the pie.
You asked him superheroes.
His favorite superhero.
Yep.
They won. So if you're superstitious, now you have to have pie every day until the winning streak is over.
Yeah, this is Mike Schild. I'm down here at PNC. I need you to deliver me a mincemeat pie. Excuse me, sir. One mincemeat pie. Okay. Yeah, I'll just bring it right on down. I've never known.
Mincemeat?
I've never known. Isn't it beef? No, it's not beef.
It's not meat at all. It's a mixture of chopped apples and dried fruit, distilled spirits or vinegar, spices, and optionally, you can put a little beef suet.
What is suet?
Yeah, I think it's fat, isn't it?
Maybe the worst sounding pie.
Beef suet is raw,
think I'm
hard
good.
beef fat.
I think I'm good on mince
Like
meat
little
pie.
chunks of fat in there
All right,
just to give it some flavor.
Apples,
Apples, dried
fruits,
distilled spirits or vinegar, spices, and optionally beef suet.
Can I get the mincemeat pie? Hold the beef suet, please. Every time. That sounds disgusting.
It does sound really, really bad.
But I do wonder if he is that way. He's like, hey, today I had a hoagie sandwich and we won, so I gotta have to eat a hoagie sandwich until we lose. I know I would be if I was a manager.
I feel like he might be a shoe fly pie kind of guy.
What is
from
shoe
the
fly?
South, it's like a molasses pie.
Molasses,
It's like made out of molasses, which
Huh.
I don't like either. So
Interesting.
maybe pecan pie.
Pecan pie is delicious.
I know you
Saturated
like that
Fat
one.
says, I'm a few minutes back talking about the best seats. Are those the ones like 15 rows behind home plate you sit in Lazy Boys? No, I've never
Those
sat
are
in
quote unquote the Jerome's best seats in the house.
house.
And for comfort, I'm sure
probably pretty good.
Those seats are very comfortable. I don't know if they come with the underground
can
club
eat
and all you can eat and service in the seats like the ones and you do pay a pretty penny for those seats behind home plate. I don't know what their face value is nowadays, but
they're a lot.
several $100s for a ticket.
Yes, probably more.
Yeah.
They're elite. There's nothing like them. Being able to sit there. The seats are padded, comfortable, and his seats are so close. You're right by the Giants dugout. You could be like, Bob Melvin, have you ever tried dipping your chapped lip into a bowl of milk? You could yell that and he could hear you. I mean, you can heckle those guys. They're right in front of you when they're on deck. It's like watching baseball on another planet. I mean,
You want to act like you've been there.
You do.
Before when you're
Correct. You
sitting
don't want to
there.
be down there heckling people.
Right.
I'm not a big heckler anyway, but when you hear the ball, you can hear the baseball hitting the glove. It's really special. So cool.
All right, we're going to take a time out. When we come back, if you'd like to join us for a Throwback Thursday game of Real or Fake, no musical trivia knowledge necessary, you can qualify for a getaway to Las Vegas. And I think we've only had a couple of qualifiers. This is the last couple of days for this past month's prize. I know it's May, but we're going through Friday. So last two chances to get in for the Pantera Ghost or Disturbed concerts in the MGM Grand Stay. $150 gift card, 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. Back with more Ben and Woods after traffic here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Got one of my random story pitch emails during the break. This is from the team at Vegas Insider. Want you to know which teams dominate the game when it comes to fashion trends and fan engagement. MLB teams with the most popular jerseys. They say, let's see. Well, the top 5. Let's see. Can you guess the top 5 most popular jerseys in Major League Baseball?
Team, not player?
Team, not player.
Yankees, Dodgers.
Yankees are number 4. Dodgers are number 1.
Padres
are number 2. I think the other 2 are
Cubs.
Cubs are 7, just outside the top 5. I would have guessed.
Oh, Phillies.
Phillies and Phillies and Red Sox didn't even make the top 10.
Brewers.
No.
Marlins.
Definitely not.
Guardians.
This game sucks.
No. I'll just give it to you. Giants and Astros are the other 2 in the top 5. Actually, the top 3 are just the NL West standings. Dodgers, Padres, Giants in order,
Really?
actually.
Wow.
Yeah. NL West is the NL best right now. Hot division, popular teams. People like those teams. Looking good right now.
Yeah.
The Oakland A's are number 9, and they're not even a team anymore. So I'm a little skeptical of this list.
It's just athletics.
It says Oakland Athletics, so
it does.
This is possibly a somewhat outdated list.
You know what's funny is
the Nationals come in dead last, they said.
Years ago, when I started a team, for tournaments and stuff, I went with the Athletic. I could have picked anything. I could have picked the Cockroaches. I could have picked the Woodpeckers. Any team I wanted to. I started it, and I went with the A's. I went because I always liked the unis and the color scheme, and I just always thought I liked the style of baseball that they played when I was younger, and so many of those players I just absolutely loved and was like, all right, we're going to be the San Diego A's.
Anything Ricky Henderson wore, feels cool.
I loved Zito and Chavez and Mulder. I just loved it. I just was into it, and I wasn't an A's fan. I just liked how they looked. I thought it was always looked cool, and now we're taking a team again, and we're still the A's, and I'm like, do I want to be the A's, or is that am I crossing a picket line at this point?
We'll get to Real or Fake in just a second.
We're the San Diego A's.
Do you think they should rebrand when they go to Las Vegas?
Mm-hmm.
I do too. They won't. I'm sure they won't. They'll try to keep the entire history of the franchise. But it doesn't feel right anymore.
I agree. And I didn't feel right even naming my adult league team, continuing it on as the Athletics. But that's what we are. That's what we have been. And so we're going to be the San Diego A's. But I did feel, believe me, because it's time to pick out jerseys. I'm working with my buddy Brian right now. We're picking out color schemes and everything else. And I was like, should we call ourselves something else? I feel like a scab. Like I really do. I was like, I feel like a little scabby naming it after the Athletics.
Is there any talk? I wonder if they're going to rebrand when they get to Vegas.
I don't think so. I think
they're rolling with the Athletics.
Yeah. I think you got it. If they're going to be Athletics in Sacramento,
I like
that's
the Vegas, the Aces,
Yeah.
right? The
Yeah.
minor league team.
Yeah.
Like you got to go with something Vegas-y.
Do you?
Well, yeah, kind of.
You don't have to.
Golden
What's a
Knights is
Golden
kind
Knight?
of cool.
What is that?
I don't know.
I thought it was one of the weirder mascot names in history.
I understand the Raiders have been
the Raiders.
You ain't changing that
and they're
Well, the A's have been the A's for a long, long time, and they've moved
That's
from
Philadelphia.
Like they've been the Athletics
Kansas
forever.
City,
Yeah.
right? Oakland,
God, they've
Sacramento.
Had like 9.
Is it the Golden
stops.
Knights just because of like Excalibur?
Maybe. I have no idea why they decided on that.
I'm not
I really
sure
don't.
either.
It's really cool.
Gold is certainly a very Vegas-y color.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's interesting. But I did feel
They have
for
the WNBA team, the Aces.
the Aces, you call the Las Vegas Dice.
used to be the Area 51s, remember, was their minor league
Yeah.
team. And then before that, it was the Stars when they were the Padres minor AAA team,
Yep.
Las Vegas Stars.
That's interesting. It's crazy that they're top 10. Did you say they're number 9?
They were number 9 on
That's
this list.
pretty nuts.
I have no idea the methodology.
Or the accuracy.
Usually just like internet searches
Yeah.
or something.
That's
All right, we
fair.
got plenty of callers on the line that want to play a little game of Real or Fake. Let's get to it.
Some are here for the compelling sports talk with Ben and Woods. Yeah, you can go plow through another donut. It's time for Real or Fake on 97.3 The Fan. Tell the people what they'll win today.
All right, last couple of days to qualify for our grand prize trip to Las Vegas. 2 tickets to either Disturbed, Ghost, or Pantera, plus a 2-night stay at the MGM Grand and a $150 gift card. Tickets for all 3 shows on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Who do I pick? Let's go with line 3. Is this Jason?
Yeah, this is Jason.
Jason, you're the lucky contestant at least today for Real or Fake. Are you ready to play our game?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, Woodsy's here. I don't know if he's going to help you or not on this one. Here's today's category. May is here. Means we're just 2 days away from what, Woods? The first Saturday in May. What happens on the first Saturday in May every year?
May the 3rd be with you.
My dad's birthday is May 3rd. Happy birthday, Dad.
Congratulations, Gary.
Happy early birthday, Dad.
First Saturday in May is the 151st running of the Kentucky Derby. Of course, the Run for the Roses has had a rough few years. Horse racing's doping scandal, first ever disqualification of a winner due to a steward's inquiry, and a group of champions that have not gone on to win another race at all in the past 5 years, which makes
one
for
and done.
A forgettable set of horses, but a challenging game of Real or Fake. I will give you a name, Jason.
The last 5 Kentucky Derby winning horses
Yep.
haven't won a race
after
since.
winning the Kentucky
race.
Derby. Not a single one. So I'm going to give you a name.
Okay.
You tell me if it's a real horse to win the Kentucky Derby this decade or a fake
Oh, boy.
I have thrown in to fool you. That's all. That's all you got to do, Jason. You ready to play?
Yep, let's do it.
All right, round number 1. Recent Kentucky Derby winner. Real or fake? Penny Circus. Real or fake? Penny Circus.
What do you think?
I don't know why, but it jogged my memory really quickly. I said, I think it's real. I'm going to go real.
Jason, you got to give the final call.
Yep, let's go real.
Says real.
Son of a-
I made that one up. All right, 0 for 1. You need 4
Sorry,
to qualify.
buddy. I'm not good at
round
this.
number 2. Lasky. Real or fake?
I'm going to go real.
Okay. No, good.
boy.
Good buddy Jeff Lasky used to work at Channel 10 with me. That's how I came up with that one. It's not a horse's name. All right, we're 0 for 2. Let's go to round number 3. Rich Strike. Real or fake, Jason?
What do you think?
God, it sounds so fake, but okay. So he's already done 2 fakes in a row. Will he go for 3? That's my
I like
biggest.
to be unpredictable.
That's my biggest issue here. Rich Strike. Sounds like a male adult film star. Let's go. What do you think, buddy? Jason, let's go real.
Jason, what do you say?
Sounds so confident.
You know, I'm gonna play on Ben's psychology here, and I'm gonna go real as well.
All right, real.
And you would be
Yes.
correct. Rich Strike at 80-1 odds won the 2022 Kentucky Derby. All right, you got 1. Let's see if we can get you 3 more. Round number 4. Time Crunch. Real or fake Kentucky Derby winner, Jason?
Hey, Woods, do you think
I-
that sounds like one he made up, or?
Sounds like a made up one, doesn't it?
They all sound.
They
made
all
up,
sound made
let's be
up.
honest.
Well, they are all made up by someone.
That's true, by someone.
Somebody made them up. I don't know.
The horse didn't say. Actually, my name is Rich Strike.
I think fake. I don't know.
Jason?
I hate this.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with fake too.
That's
Yes.
fake. Very good. All right,
we're
you're halfway
tied.
home. 3 rounds left. Round number 5. Flight of Darien. Real or fake, Jason?
Yeah, I don't think you can make that up, Ben. Even if you tried, so I'm gonna go real.
Wow.
You don't know.
You know
his
what?
mind.
I can make it up, and I did.
Oh, no! He was very confident.
All right, that means you got to get these last 2 correct, or you will not qualify for the grand prize. Round number 6. Mage. Real or fake?
Spell it.
M-A-G-E.
Use it in a sentence.
I don't. It's a horse's name. The horse is named Mage. There's your
Real or
sentence.
fake? Mage. Done.
What do you think, Wood?
Let's go real.
It says real.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's roll the dice. Let's go real.
Yeah,
2023 Kentucky Derby winner Mage, which
Here we
means
go.
once again we
Game
come
7.
down to the final round for all the marbles. Jason, real or fake? Potentiate. Real or fake Kentucky Derby winner?
What do you think, Wood?
I don't know.
He doesn't want to be responsible.
I don't want to be responsible. Potentiate. All right, let's go. My gut says fake.
Jason, it's got to be up to you.
Yeah, let's roll the dice and let's go real.
Oh, he went real.
He's going real.
I went fake. He went real.
Paulie?
I had it.
Oh, Jason,
I had
I'm
it.
sorry.
So
You had
close,
it
buddy.
this time.
Man.
Thank
Sorry,
you for
pal.
playing, my man.
Great
But
game.
wasn't to be today. And I thought that would be a fairly challenging and
That was very challenging.
a fairly bad look for the horse racing industry that we have no idea who their top horses are in a year.
I have one.
Anymore.
Milk lip.
Milk lip.
Milk lip.
Real or
Absolutely
fake?
real.
Oh.
Oh, I hated that. I hated every second of that.
All right, we got to take a break because when we come back, smart baseball aficionado and a noted fish fan, Eno Sarris will join us. He is coming up next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Yeah, quickly, let me tell you about Underdog. The NBA playoffs are, well, I mean, you're starting to see some teams eliminated, like Ben's beloved Lakers eliminated by the underdog Minnesota Timberwolves last night. But Underdog is a great place to go out and play during the basketball playoffs, playing that daily fantasy. They got their new extender promo. Just play your way to increasingly bigger boosts each round of the playoffs. So if you started the playoff series using your game 1 boost, continue boosting each subsequent game to unlock the next one. The longer the series, the bigger the boosts that you get. To play, all you have to do is download the app, choose whether a player will go higher or lower on their stats. You can mix and match sports. You can do some golf. You can do some baseball. I do a lot of baseball on my Underdog. And basketball, of course, during the playoffs, points, assists, so much more. Once your picks are locked in, and you feel good about them, play with as little as $1. If you get everything right, you can win up to 1,000 times your money. Have some fun with Underdog. I know I have been. Download the Underdog app, sign up with promo code WOODS to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. That's promo code WOODS. Must be 18 and over, 19 and over in Alabama, Nebraska, present in the state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/extend.html for details. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
feel heartbroken for Jason. My dastardly category today.
That was very tough.
Real or fake.
Very tough.
Came so close, but we'll have one more game of Take on Woods tomorrow, and then presumably a new grand prize checking in starting next week. Eno Sarris is going to check in from The Athletic for our Smart Baseball segment right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Islands Restaurants. Just one problem here. Accident involving a car and a big rig. Northbound 15 before Friars Road. They're over the right shoulder. Ready for a delicious escape? The new Islands Restaurants $10 protein bowls are your ticket, packed with over 40 grams of protein and stacked with fresh ingredients. They're only here for a limited time, so enjoy one today. Visit islandsrestaurants.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's time for the super polished, yet to be named Smart Baseball Weekly segment with Eno Sarris, son of a bitch. Brought to you by 7 Mile Casino, just 7 minutes from the ballpark, by the bay in Chula Vista. Here's Eno Sarris with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
And we welcome Eno to the program. And sorry I missed you last week, Eno. I heard you were having a bit of a rough morning, according to Woods.
All good now. Just took me a week.
You sound like a new man. Yeah, the older you get, that's about I find it's about a week recovery. Full 7 days. It's super fun.
So I want to start with our Padres, Eno, this morning, and Michael King. You've had your Stuff Plus number projections, and Michael King does well, but not top 5, top 10 in baseball. But boy, I mean, he had some nasty movement yesterday on some of his pitches. A lot of the pitching ninja treatment from the movement that he is getting, and we had the discussion earlier that he may be pitching himself into an unaffordable realm as a starting pitcher going into free agency this offseason. But what do you see from Michael King, and what do your numbers kind of project for the kind of career trajectory that he's on?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting because he has something in common with other kind of lower slot guys that throw sinkers. And some of these other guys have trouble with lefties. And, I think you saw in yesterday's game, one of the reasons King doesn't necessarily have trouble with lefties is that he throws that sinker front door. So he throws it basically at the lefty and it comes back over the zone. And that's been really effective for him. And that was something that was really effective for Corey Kluber as well. So that's an important thing that he does. The other thing is his changeup doesn't rate that positive by Stuff Plus, but he really commands it well. And when he commands it well to the lower corner of the zone, it looks beautiful. So it's a little surprising that Stuff doesn't like it, but given his arm slot, it's kind of expected movement in a way. But he commands it so well that it doesn't matter. So he has a plan against lefties, and then against righties, he's a sinker sweeper guy that can really dominate them. So I understand how it all gets put together, but it relies a little bit more on command than people realize. It's not necessarily the biggest stuff guy, and I don't know exactly how that'll age. That's it's laudable. It's great. It's better than not having command, and maybe it's better than relying on Stuff because Stuff is just going to age and go away. So maybe it is a great package to bet on, but we also have to remember his injury history. And that'll come up when they're talking about how many years he's going to get. So yeah. I don't think he'll get like the Garrett Cole. I don't think he'll get like 7-8 plus years, but he'll get a decent amount of money on like a 5-year deal. Something probably starts with a 2, like a $200 million deal, something like that.
I mean, he's honestly he's one of those guys, and I'm sure there's dozens of these guys across baseball. When he grabs the ball as a Padre fan, just when you watch, it's such a fun watch. He's such a fun watch. You talk about command, and you think about Greg Maddux putting the ball where he wants, and even when Michael doesn't command, like he didn't command his slider early, he figured it out, right? And eventually, he starts dotting, and that 2-seam has 2 feet of run on a right-hander. It's impossible to hit. He is a joy to watch pitch, and because it's aesthetically pleasing, but it's also, you're like, we're winning this game. Michael King's on the bump. We're winning this game. And, a guy like Dylan Cease, who Stuff Plus favors a little bit more, you still have him pretty high in Stuff Plus. I can't say the same as that it's such a fun watch. And, you think about, we watched Blake Snell here for years.
Oh, yeah.
The guy ripped my stomach in half. I mean, seriously, watching his games, it was like I had to have a whiskey halfway through because the stuff was elite. But oh my God, it was the most painful watch of all time. So I love the command that he has. It certainly makes for a more aesthetically pleasing watch.
Yeah, I think you could go and look right now, maybe at what's going on with Aaron Nola, though. In Philadelphia,
it's an
example of what can happen. I mean, Aaron Nola's velo's down to 90 and a half.
Where was he sitting in his prime? Like 95?
Yeah, 94, 95. Yeah,
that's concerning.
Plus. And he's a great command guy with a great breaking ball, with an approach against lefties. It's usually very fun to watch. Yeah, the best guys, the reason why Cole got all that money, I know it's weird to talk about him because he's hurt right now, but he had a really good run, and he was kind of nearly worth the money anyway that he was given. And Scherzer was worth the money he was given in Washington. And those two guys are guys that do have feel for the ball and had stuff. I mean, that's who you want to give the big bag to,
Yeah.
Dylan Cease is an interesting study as well because his Stuff Plus numbers are still good, and he's getting swing and miss and strikeouts, but he's not having his usual success so far this year, and feels like he's a bit mystified by it. The Padres are a little bit mystified by it. Any insight you can offer,
Yeah, I mean, to some extent, he still has a small arsenal. I like that he's throwing the changeup more this year. I think he really needs like a cutter and a sinker. I think that's what the league is doing, is diversifying your fastball portfolio so that nobody can be like, if it's hard, the shape is this,
Which he's trying with that two-seamer this year too, but
a little bit.
Some success.
Yeah, and maybe the thing is that the feel for new pitches doesn't, he doesn't add new pitches the way like Seth Lugo. I remember Seth Lugo was like, oops, new pitch today, and I think Seth Lugo throws 10 pitch types now. So there's some guys who have a real affinity for adding new pitches, and some guys where it takes more time. And then the other thing I would just say is when I watch him, he sprays that fastball. He just, it's above the zone, and I think there are a bunch of waste zone pitches, which we call those pitches that the batter never even thinks about swinging on.
Yeah, they say uncompetitive on the broadcast. Every broadcast. Oh, it's the uncompetitive slider.
And it's just a waste of a pitch.
Yep,
that puts you in a bad count. And then you have to be more fine, and you have to come more into the heart of the zone. So that's why I think a cutter and a sinker might allow him to, throw to the heart of the zone with three different fastball types, three different fastball shapes. If you throw to the heart of the zone with a four seam over and over again, people are going to time that. And that's what you can see with batters. If you throw 100 in the middle of the zone over and over again, then, even Hunter Green this year, who does throw 100 to the middle of the zone, got better by adding a splitter. So I don't know. I would say add more pitches. I'd say trust that sinker, use the sinker more often, and find something. I think a cutter just feels like something he could maybe throw that wouldn't go high above the zone, that would stay in the zone, So it's what you think it is. It's fastball command.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just got, like you said, spraying the fastball is a really good way of describing a Dylan Cease start from time to time. Talking to the great Eno Sarris from The Athletic here on Ben and Woods this morning. So when we had you last Thursday, you said, I got to go right. Were you hungover and writing about the Colorado Rockies? Is that the piece that you were working on? Because that's like a double. That's like makes the hangover a little bit worse. Because I saw your piece. It dropped today. And it was about the really, really horrific month of April that the Rockies had.
Yeah, I was trying to put it in focus. Was it the worst month ever? And it wasn't the worst month ever. There are months that teams won one game. There are months where teams, had a worse run differential. But if you look at their run differential and you look at their record, they were among the worst. That month was among the worst 99.5% of, like, it's in the 0.5 percentile of worst months. So it's up there. And you know, the most depressing thing is that the 2024 White Sox had 2 months that were worse than that one.
That's amazing.
So that's how you set a record in losses, is you really have to have 2 or 3 months like that. Now, I think they'll probably pull out of the tailspin and just have like a regular old boring, you know, 50, 60 win season. But it also points to just a general, my colleague Chad Jennings had a piece about just the general commitment to mediocrity in Colorado that is depressing and just a blight. And I do have some sympathy for them, because I've heard from analytics people and GMs that they think that the park itself costs them like 5 to 6 wins a year.
Oh yeah, easily, right?
Yeah, and so, you know, they have to overcome that. They have to build a 96 win team to win 90. But it's just obvious that they're like the meme is, we've tried nothing and we're all out of ideas. It's like,
yeah, what do you do? Like, what's the plan of attack? You know, I remember, Ben, you probably remember this too, and you do too. You know, when, you know, I mean, God, they got to a World Series, right? And I remember they're like, oh no, I can't remember who the GM was at the time. Like, we're gonna bring in sinker ballers and Mike Hampton and all these guys, and like, we're gonna sink the ball here, and they're gonna beat it into the ground because we don't want it. You know, in theory, it made sense, yeah. But the sinker doesn't sink like it does in Arizona or anywhere else. Like, it's just a different.
In fact, the four seamer is the one that almost is like four seamers and cutters are the ones that are kind of closer to normal.
Yeah. Okay. And so, I mean, maybe you start there, but if you're them and you're a fan of that team, or hell, even if you're the GM or whatever, you're like, where do I even start with this squad?
Yeah. I mean, I've had crazy ideas, like put the entire stadium in like a hyperbaric chamber type deal, where like
humidor,
you know, like the whole stadium is a humidor, so that when you go in, the doors like sort of vacuum seal behind you.
100%, like an airplane.
I don't know. That might be worth it. It might be millions of dollars, but it might be worth it.
It's crazy. Better than winning 40 games.
It cost them their beautiful outdoor stadium.
That's true.
That, you know, people come to visit. So the other idea that I had was, you know, just lean in. Remember that one of the only times that they were successful was the Blake Street Bombers.
Yeah.
And I think the idea is lean into offense, and you should be able to sign every fringe hitter that's available. Yes. You know, like what the Padres are doing, like Solano and Profar and guys, like the Rockies should be gobbling those guys up.
Well, they tried with Profar and he was terrible. Like, I don't know.
They have bad luck too.
It's just bad luck, bad process, bad environment, bad culture.
They strike out more than anybody in baseball, and they would get the most out of striking out the least, because the thing that Coors inflates the most is not even homers as much as it is balls in play.
Yeah.
Like, it's a huge outfield, and the balls drop in all the time. So if you had like a lineup of Solanos, you'd do better than, you know, a lot of these like 38% strikeout rate guys that are running out there.
Interesting.
You know, and on the pitching side, I would look a lot more like the Rays, where, and they said something like, we're going to be the Rays, and that's when they traded away Arenado. They're like, see, the Rays trade away people, now we do.
Yeah, look at us now.
Look at us now. And I'd be like, no, you need to learn how the Rays like build a pitching staff with like a completely new idea. Like, instead of we have starters and we have relievers, I would have 13 pitchers, and some of them go 3 innings and some of them go 2. It would be awful. I'm not saying this is great for watching. I'm just saying that you have to try something different, and having guys that some go 3, some go 2, you could have guys that, you know, you pitch them a little bit more away from home, and the other guys you pitch more at home. You know, you play with that, where you're like, oh, this guy's stuff actually, you know, John Gray has been the same for Texas as he was for Colorado. So there's something about John Gray that's not very exciting, but it's about the same in Colorado as it is in other places.
Interesting.
So you find those pitchers, and you play them more at home. I don't know. Try something is what I'm saying.
Last thing for me, you know, on the other end of the spectrum, there was some maybe thought that maybe the Dodgers are a little more vulnerable than we thought. But here they are now, 31 games in, best record in baseball, despite all those pitching injuries. Are they actually showing that they're less vulnerable, perhaps, that they've already overcome a ton and still have the best record in the league?
I mean, I think it's a double-edged sword because, yes, someone's going to say they're injured all the time, but their pitching development is also pretty good. Like, they're going to settle upon some pitchers that'll get them through. And, of course, the lineup is their biggest strength because they've spent the most money there and they have the greatest players there. But, what they do on the pitching side is when their big price guys go down, they do maybe they go down too often. Maybe there's too much injury there, but they do have a bevy of young arms that they kind of run through. And they're like, oh, Landon Knack, that's not going to work. How about Ben Kasparias?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, look, Tony Gonsolin's healthy now. So they're just like, we plan to have 20 starting pitchers, 10 to 15 will be good. And at any given time, we'll have 4 or 5 that are healthy. That's their plan. It's like it's the Rays with money.
Yeah, the Rays with money, just like 15 starting pitchers, and whoever's healthy in the playoffs, that's who we're going to roll with. And I can disparage the fact that they have 13 guys on the IL, but I can't disparage the fact that they keep winning, they keep figuring out ways to win, and I fully expect them to be 100+ wins at the end of the year, like we all did. I don't think anything's gonna derail that.
But maybe still a little bit gettable, like depending on who's healthy in the playoffs.
Sure.
I mean, if Yamamoto is down, and like if their ace is Ben Kasparias, then like maybe they're gettable. So
no doubt,
I think they're
absolutely
gettable.
Yeah, I think they're gettable.
They're in no danger of missing the playoffs.
No.
Right. It's not that. It's just like what happens in a short series.
Yeah.
It may not just end in hardware again.
Yep.
Eno, we are out of time. Good chatting with you. We will talk to you again next Thursday. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you, buddy.
Eno Sarris, brought to you by 7 Mile Casino every single week. Little smart baseball. Everyone enjoys little smart baseball with Eno Sarris. We still have one more hour of our show, followed by
which is not
1
smart
hour
baseball, but
of
it's
the
right.
roundtable coming up. We'll talk some more Padres baseball. We'll get a Reindl Report as well with some extra headlines. All ahead with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Thanks again to Eno Sarris from The Athletic, part of our regular weekly lineup. Eno joins us each Thursday on the program. Of course, tomorrow, got our Manager's Report presented by Eco Water SoCal. This hour of Ben & Woods, though, is brought to you by Robert Half. At Robert Half, they found that 67% of companies want to increase contract talent. That's why their recruiters' expertise and award-winning AI work quickly to find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, they know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today. We'll gather all the 97.3 The Fan talent in less than an hour for the start of our weekly roundtable, brought to you by San Diego Roundtable Pizza. It's pizza royalty. And I know you guys like to get a little sometimes preview of the content of the roundtable in advance. And this was actually a question that I had suggested as a topic earlier this week, and we never got to it. So I thought I'll save it for the roundtable. Then Paulie said, why don't you bring something up a little bit early here? Because we got an hour to go in our show.
You suggested it on our show, and we
never got to it.
Oh, we just didn't get to it.
We just never got to it.
We didn't dismiss it, though.
And it was because the Giants were in town. Obviously, I think most Padres fans agree. Whatever Dodgers fans think, the Dodgers are our number one enemy.
Sure.
When you're a Padres fan.
Yeah, I agree.
Who's number two, then? Who's the second most hated team if you're a Padres fan?
Mine's easy.
You think it's easy?
The easiest answer I've ever given. It's the Colorado Rockies, and it's not even particularly close.
I know that's your answer, but
I just said this is my answer. I didn't say this is everyone's answer. It's an easy answer. The Colorado Rockies.
To me,
that's
that doesn't really make a ton of sense, though.
Makes
They're rarely
a ton of sense.
They are a thorn in our side.
Well,
correct.
Hang on, because you just phrased it differently than when you phrased it Sunday.
I did say.
You
I
said
who's
who's
the biggest
Padres'
rival?
second biggest rival. Right. To just now, you said who do you hate more?
I
than
did.
The
I kind of
just as much as the Dodgers.
I altered it a little bit because
I hate the Rockies a lot more than the Giants. But if you're going to call it a rivalry, I think it's probably the Giants or maybe even the Diamondbacks, just based on competitiveness.
Proximity is part of that. You either got the California team is the Giants. The Diamondbacks are technically the second closest divisional opponent to you. Seattle is your natural rival. If you're using the word
hate them,
rival,
not even a little.
Now they finally have the Vetter Cup officially set up this year.
I couldn't care less. I like them. I like the Mariners.
And we're going to do this actually in the draft, so everyone has to pick someone different. I'm kind of leaning toward, and this makes no sense because they're not even in the division. For some reason, the Cubs always, to me, feel like they have tons of fans who always come to Petco Park and, kind of get under our skin. We played them in the 1984 postseason, so there's history there between the Cubs and the Padres that goes a long way back. For me, I don't know, those Cubs games always seem maybe even bigger than the ones against your divisional rivals, which you would assume would be bigger games, but I don't know. The Cardinals are the team that always felt
really
like
going to factor something that happened like 40 years ago into your decision?
Yeah. I mean, history is an important part of rivalry and hate as much as anything.
Well, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So that's why I've never really hated the Giants. So I'm like, we went to Oracle, had the time of our lives. I have some Giant friends. I adore them. They're smart. They're knowledgeable. They're not violently insane like other fan bases can be. And so I'm like, hey, man. Oh, also, those runs that they went on, legendary, absolutely legendary run by the Giants. And so, yeah, they're in the division. But when I look at other than themselves, the Rockies are my biggest hurdle every single year. I loathe the sight of them.
Clint Hurdle.
They are the Clint Hurdle. He was their new hitting coach, and it's going well. They did win a game yesterday. I look at it and I'm like, I can't stand these dudes. I cannot stand these guys. I love Buddy Black as a human, but I look at that team, I cannot stand these guys. And, it's not necessarily their fan base. I'm sure
I know it's a balanced schedule, but we play them 35 times a year.
Correct. Everything else is balanced, but we play the Rockies at least 30. Let's say conservatively, I've been to 50 games since I've lived in San Diego. 48 of them have been against the Rockies.
Yes.
It worked out. Every time I find myself in Petco Park, I'm like, oh my God, we're playing the Rockies. It's going to be my purgatory.
Rockies fans consider as their number one rival.
Their owner, Dick Manfart. Yeah.
I mean, does every other team in the NL West, Padres, Giants, Diamondbacks and Rockies all think the Dodgers are their like main rival.
I don't know. We had some good when we first started as a show. We had some good battles with Arizona. We had all the Bob Brenly stuff.
Yeah,
and
that's what I was thinking.
Him, being pretty racist against Fernando Tatis Jr. We had them ripping on Manny. I find myself disliking them quite a bit. I really do.
I do like their skipper now.
I do. I like Torrey. I like Torrey now. Back then, I did not. Who was their skipper when we started? It was. I could see his face. Was it? Who was it when we started in 2018 as a show? Who was their skipper?
Lavella's been there a while.
Was it? No. Who was it? Somebody will tell us.
It was
list of Diamondbacks.
Torrey was hired in 17.
Okay, maybe it was him.
Before him, 2 years of Chip Hale.
And
then Kirk Gibson was there for about 5 years.
Okay.
And then AJ Hinch actually was there, and Bob Melvin was there too.
Yeah.
Remember? Yeah. The Cardinals are an interesting choice because Padres have played the Cardinals in the playoffs more than any other team they've met in the postseason. They had the 2 losses in the 2000s, and then they beat them in the wild card series in the pandemic year. I remember though distinctly when I used to do the pre and the post game show host, thing back in the early 2000s. Padres couldn't beat the Cardinals at all. It was ridiculous. They felt like they lost. I don't know,
80%,
like 28 out of 31 games against the Cardinals in a stretch.
That's right, boy.
They just, Albert Pujols. It was like we have no earthly way of beating this team whatsoever. No chance.
Hey, you can't beat them. Join them.
No chance at all of beating that team.
I do kind of loathe the Diamondbacks a little bit. Probably other than the Dodgers, probably the most in our division, maybe tied with the Rockies. But the Rockies, I feel like, are our biggest. I feel like they're my biggest hurdle. I hate watching those games, especially at Coors Field. I can't stand it. It's not baseball as it was intended to be played. It makes me sick to my stomach, and we got to deal with that next week.
And if you had to pick an American League team, well, the Mariners are the assigned rival.
Mariners. Love them.
I don't feel really any animosity toward the Mariners at all. I would pick
probably the Yankees.
The Yankees, who are coming up on this road trip, obviously. I get to play them every year now, but a big trip to Yankee Stadium, and clearly part of that goes back to 1998, and part of it just goes to the fact that the Yankees are the Yankees, and every team's going to consider it a big series when you go into the Bronx. You're going to face that team, as the Padres will do next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Yeah, Astros is a good one for recent history as far as the AL goes. But for me, it's mostly NL teams. It's mostly NL guys.
So I don't know. It seemed like the Giants was kind of the logical choice, but
many rivals. I think anybody outside of LA is a stretch.
Sure,
to be honest.
Yeah, you're right. I think it's a stretch. A lot of people I've talked to a lot of Padre fans that said, "Man, I freaking hate the Giants. I hate the Giants." And I find myself liking not so much the players, and certainly I'm Team Schulte.
Back when it was Barry Bonds and Jeff Kent,
much easier.
They were pretty easy to dislike.
I don't like Giants fans. I don't really
see.
Care
They've always been cool to me. I've never run into the real negative Giant fan. I saw those.
I had to live with 3 of them in college.
That'll change.
Oh, by the way, from the years 2010 through 2014,
they're insufferable at that point. They're running around the house with their pants off.
But Boch was the manager, and it's impossible to hate Boch.
Yeah,
impossible.
And
to
Flan
hate
was
Boch.
there,
So there was always that mitigating factor, even when they were, stomping on everybody and winning World Series that decade. Then it was hard to hate them because of those guys,
dude. And I was talking to one of my little league dads yesterday. We were after the game. We all went to dinner, and we were talking about that Giants run. And he's like, "Bro, I grew up a Padres fan." He goes, "Can't hate Tim Lincecum. Can't hate Matt Cain. You can't hate any." I go, "You can hate
Crawford.
You can hate Mad Bum. You can't hate Brandon Crawford. Like all those guys. Geez, just straight up G's across the board. Yeah, like." So I was kind of
Mike says Phillies fans. I dislike them. I had the failure against the Phillies in the NLCS a couple of years ago.
We're not able to judge yet. We're going to go out to Philly in July, and we'll have our own.
I don't get the sense that I hate the Phillies, though.
I like the Phillies.
Call me when you get your phone.
That's after a guy bullies Ben, steals his phone, throws it onto a field.
Yo, call me when you get your phone.
And screams at you. I wonder if, please God, let Ben get accosted verbally by a Philly fan. Oh, look, it's the Padre. I can't even do it. Like it's their accent's impossible. So we'll see. We'll make our own judgments after our
The
trip.
Mets earned some hate points with the Joe
I don't like the
Musgrove
Mets.
ear.
I don't like the Mets.
Everything, yeah.
I really don't like them. I love the players on the Phillies though, for like almost to a man. I really do.
See, like Phillies and Braves are like I don't feel any animosity towards them, but they are like comparable.
Yeah,
you're gonna see them in the playoffs over the. We've seen them a few times already. Like, I guess, but again, anything outside of LA is manufactured at this point.
Yeah, Brandon's just surprised you don't appreciate the Dodgers, to be honest, since Dodger fans are funding the YouTube chat so much. Love you or hate you, they're still listening. They paid for this trip to Philly. I mean, there's no question about it. This is all them, and we are going to celebrate on their dime. So keep it coming.
So we'll see what the other people have to say about Padres rivals and the second most hated team of the Padres fan base coming up during the roundtable later today. We can also take a look at what the Padres are continuing to do in the minor leagues recently, because Luis Campusano is still hitting. And whether or not he's ever going to catch again for the Padres, and I know numbers in El Paso are completely inflated and fake. He homered off Clayton Kershaw yesterday as Kershaw made a rehab start for Oklahoma City. It is the sixth home run of the year, I believe, already for Campy. He is hitting .318 with a .434 OBP, 600 slugging, 16 runs batted in, 24 games. He is clearly hitting a lot in the minor leagues. What is it going to take for Campy to find his way back to the San Diego Padres, if at all?
To hit in the major leagues, which it's always been for Luis Campusano.
Well, yes, but he can't do that unless you give him another chance to do so.
I mean, the fact that he's still with the team in the organization means that they, are going to give him another look at some point. Don't know when it's going to be. Don't know how successful he's done this. He's done this before. I'm rooting for him. I am. We need him, right? We need some contribution from Luis Campusano. And I was ready, I think, like a lot of Padres fans, to give up on Adrian Morejon a couple of years ago. I'm so glad I didn't. Because look what he has turned himself into.
Because obviously a pitcher and a hitter are very two different paths, but in terms of timeline and how long they've been in the organization, Adrian's been in there longer, but you do feel like the starts and the stops with Adrian Morejon kind of parallel some of what you've seen with Luis Campusano.
Well, I mean, look, man, I use myself as an example. I'm glad my dad didn't kick me out of the organization when I was 32. You know what I mean? Like, some of us are late bloomers, and I hope that Luis Campusano, whatever it is that he's unlocked down there to rip the cover off the ball, hit a 109-mile-an-hour home run off of Clayton Kershaw yesterday, a tank. It's great. It's good to see. He's been given chance after chance after chance, and I do hope that one time it pans out and he has a monster year and reaches some of his potential, because I do think it's in there.
Speaking of AAA El Paso, another interesting note from last night's game against Oklahoma City, Sean Reynolds turned in a third scoreless rehab appearance, 4 outs, walked one batter, got the win actually in the game last night. Are we now at the point where Sean Reynolds is ready to join the Padres bullpen? And if he does, whose spot does he take in the Padres bullpen?
No idea. I mean, do they believe in Berger to moving forward? He's only thrown, I think, 16 pitches at the big league level so far. Didn't use him in this series at all. Didn't really need to. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
But they're going to need a fifth starter in a couple of days.
Yeah, we'll see how he's deployed with Gillespie going down. That's kind of your long man. Is it going to be Berger that's your long man? Sean Reynolds isn't a long man. He's
interesting that he went 4 outs in his last start. I can't imagine they're thinking of him as a long man. He doesn't seem like he projects as a long man. But yeah, I mean, the bullpen has been so good.
Is David Morgan still on the roster?
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
David Morgan is still on the roster. Yeah, you could switch David Morgan out.
Diesel says Peralta or Yuki. Come
on.
No,
they're not going anywhere.
Those guys have been better.
And again, Peralta is the sign. He's got a guaranteed contract for a couple of years. He's not. Wandy's not going anywhere. And Yuki's not going anywhere. Yuki's been good.
They both have been good. They both have been.
Yeah,
good.
you know, with both David Morgan and Ryan Berger, you do have
The
spot.
bullpen's been so good that
Yeah.
if somebody gives up a run,
You're like, what is
you
happening?
got to send
I
them
know.
down.
I
You got to
know.
send them down. You can't have that.
That's crazy how good they've been.
I mean,
Crazy.
Alec Jacobs still has options, but he's been very solid.
He has. I don't know who Sean Reynolds replaces. I don't. Is he trade?
Yeah,
bait?
probably David Morgan at this point.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they want to see one more, or if he may be joining them in Pittsburgh after 3 rehab appearances for a reliever. That's about generally all you're looking for, I would think, in rehab starts.
For
So
sure.
that's another roster move to keep an eye on, in addition to the potential returns of Brandon Lockridge and Jackson Merrill in the next 2 to 4 days, likely getting both of those guys back with the Padres as well.
All right, go to break 'cause I'm going to pee my pants. So,
you need to go use the restroom.
I do.
Okay.
All right.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Just one more thing before you go.
Just wrap it up.
Yeah, we're just going to wrap it up.
Tell
here.
everybody about SD fat loss.
Okay.
Yeah,
we'll
do
do
that.
so.
Good.
All right, Woodsy's leaving. I guess I've got no choice. Paul, you've got a Throwback Thursday for us coming up.
Yeah, short clip from a couple of years ago. An absolute stop the show moment.
Stop the show moment. I like that. We also will give away some boxing tickets in a moment when we return as well. First, though, I believe Woods is correct. It is time for me to tell you about sdfatloss.com. Okay, so May 1st, a little May gray. You know that's going to last through the June gloom. But then by the time July gets here, you're definitely going to want to be beach, pool, shorts, summer season in San Diego. And I tell you this right now, if you started the sdfatloss.com program today, you can be down 10 to 20% of your body weight by the time the sun actually comes out for good in summer in San Diego, because in just 60 days, you can do what I did. I lost 40 pounds in 60 days. A lot of clients, 20 to 30, not uncommon in a month or two, up to a pound of fat per day, simply by following your counselor's strategies developed by a doctor. They've got a great team at sdfatloss.com to help you lose weight fast, naturally, and safely, with no drugs or injections and no need to buy any prepackaged bars, shakes, or mixes. You don't even need to have to exercise to lose the weight. I did it. You can do it as well. Simply set up a free consultation right now at sdfatloss.com. And hey, we're keeping it running through May. $200 off. Spring is still here, so the spring special is still in effect. $200 off their already affordable program to lose weight. I mean, what would you pay? I mean, what should you pay to change your life for good? I have done it, and I just feel so much better than I did a couple of years ago before I lost the weight. Please, just check it out today. Go to sdfatloss.com. That's sdfatloss.com. Results may vary.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Only sports show in America that didn't do an hour at least on LeBron's legacy today. I'm very proud of that. Very proud indeed.
Well, we didn't do it because it doesn't really change at all.
No, totally. That's what most Lakers fans are telling themselves this morning.
Did he damage his legacy?
No. He's fine.
And they lost
He's
a
great.
playoff series to a team that essentially had the same record they did this season.
Right. Cope, let's hear it. Load up your bowl full of copium, light your lighter, and smoke it down.
They lost.
Smoke it down.
Big bomber class before busting on me head.
I heard Maggie and Perloff. I mean, they were all over it. I'm sure you did too on your way. I walk into the studio and they're on the Q speaker. So I heard it and I immediately turned it down because I don't want to listen to it. And then I'm sure you listened on your way in, or did you? Could you
I
not?
didn't. I was actually
Could you not deal?
I listened to an interview with JP Morosi on MLB Network Radio.
What would JP have to say? I like JP.
He was actually talking about his Hall of Fame podcast that he does and some interviews he's got. Lee Smith coming up and other guys he's talked to. And he had a Mike Schmidt story from his interview about how Mike Schmidt said, Philly fans were tough on him.
They were brutal.
Even on a
him.
future Hall of Famer. They were really tough on him, yet he always listened to Sports Talk Radio.
He did.
On his way to the ballpark.
Is he insane?
And it drove him crazy.
It really did. It got to him.
He still wanted to call in, but he was smart enough. He knew he couldn't.
If he did, he was
couldn't
dead.
call in. But at the time, I guess his wife's mom was living with them, so he had his mother-in-law call in to defend him.
You're joking.
Once. No, he told that story to JP Morosi on his podcast. His mother-in-law call in to Philly Sports Talk Radio to go,
You leave him alone. He is.
I don't think
he's
she
gonna go to the
identified.
Hall of Fame.
She was supposed to be kind of like an
anonymous?
just anonymous caller.
So she,
saying, hey, don't be so hard on Mike Schmidt. He's a great player.
It's the 1980s version of a Twitter burner. That you're like, no, Woods is great. Are you kidding? He's such a good dude. Like, yeah, it's his own burner.
Was it possible that I listened to that to avoid the Lakers LeBron talk? Maybe
That's
a little
exactly
bit.
right. We have MLB Network on, and we have our YouTube show that you can watch us live on YouTube. We have our own show on because we're egomaniacs up on the other TV. But if you put on whatever's on right now, First Take or
it's been all
Hot
morning.
Take. I mean, there's no way he's better than Jordan now. Blah blah. I mean, it's just gonna be 72 hours of this.
All right, let's not act like Michael Jordan didn't get bounced out of the first round.
Absolutely.
before he got some elite top 50 NBA players.
If I ever got a show on like FS1 that was one of those shows, I know what I would call it now. Hot beef.
Hot beef. Yeah, hot beef with Ben Higgins.
Hot
actually
beef.
A really decent.
One of those debate shows.
Yeah, hot beef.
Hot beef.
Oh, it's good, actually.
I think it's a good
I think
name.
you could
Isn't it?
actually probably
Hot
sell
beef.
that. Tell our agent
Hot beef
to get off Instagram and start pitching Hot Beef, the debate show. God, sent me one yesterday.
All right, Paulie, we got a Throwback Thursday segment from, this was back in 2022?
Yeah, 2022, 3 years ago tomorrow. Now, don't have a ton of context. This clip starts with us kind of laughing, and we're going out to the phones. We had been talking for whatever reason, something happened. We were talking about like wedding crashing and if that's fun, if that's a fun idea. And we threw it out to the listeners. We're like, oh, did anybody crash your wedding? Have you ever crashed a wedding?
I vaguely remember.
Let us know. We'd love to hear from you. So we're taking a couple of people did call in and talk about it. And then Dave called in.
Feigning stories or wedding wrecker stories, 833-288-0973. Let's see what is this. Dave, you're on the air with Ben and Woods here on 97.3 The Fan. How are you?
Bro, I'm screaming.
Good vibes right now.
I'm okay. I hated those stupid rumors about trading Hosmer. And last year, the slump was team-wide. They had a meltdown after the All-Star break.
Right.
And I'm a big Eric Hosmer fan. Big. And ooh, they were making me mad. And I was calling John Sinclair about it. And I was, I know Eric Hosmer's a dang good baseball player. And during that 16-game perfect defense record, that was good.
Did you ruin a wedding, though, Dave? That's
who cares about
no, all right, okay. That's fine. No, it's
that guy is definitely. He's definitely had He's definitely had a soft pack of Camels in his front pocket at one point in
I'm
his
a
life.
big Eric Hosmer fan. Big.
Whew.
I wonder if that's Eric Hosmer's mother-in-law.
Maybe, potentially. Yeah. Have you ever ruined a wedding? Hi.
Big.
I hated those rumors about Eric Hosmer. Well, nobody asked you at all about that.
I mean, I promise you, we weren't talking about Eric Hosmer.
It's not the topic of the day.
Oh, I remember now. Ben fainted at a wedding. That was the story. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Whose wedding was it?
It was
your cousin or something?
Yeah, no, it was like whose wedding was that?
And you fainted.
I did. Didn't lock my knees too long.
He did. He fainted.
Someone like wife's side of the family, in-laws, somewhere.
And you were in the wedding party.
No. I was simply standing in the back.
Oh, standing.
Just standing.
Just watching the wedding.
There was no seats. It was a standing wedding.
The old SRO wedding.
Yes.
Standing room only. Okay.
And it was a warm afternoon, San Diego summer, out
You're
in
in
like
a
Point
suit.
Loma. I was in a suit, standing with my knees locked too long, and I just all of a sudden felt lightheaded. And the next thing I knew, I was down on the ground.
Done that. Sucks.
You have?
Yeah. I didn't know. I was like 18. I didn't know that like locking your knees while standing for a long period of time can make you faint.
Yeah.
And I was downtown Seattle, summer in high school, and we were watching, like, they had this big event. It was like a soapbox derby, Red Bull thing. And I was just standing there. I was like, I don't feel very good. I'm going to go sit down, guys. And as I like turned and started to walk away from the crowd, next thing I knew, I was on the ground. I do not remember like actually pass. I was on the ground. Like, what the hell happened? They're like, Paul, you just fell over.
You guys are like Tony Soprano, man. I mean, holy cow. I don't think I've ever fainted. I don't think I have. I don't remember it.
You don't remember. Well, you don't really remember
When
the
you
actual
faint,
fainting
yeah.
because you're out. It is weird though. Just locking your knees would have such an effect on your
Cuts
head.
off your circulation.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in plenty of weddings, and they always tell you don't lock your knees up there.
Yeah.
Standing up there for hours in a Catholic wedding.
Pedotes 78 in the chat says, I crashed a quinceañera once. We stole the cake. Not my proudest moment. Saddest 15-year-old in history.
Yep.
Where's my cake? My special cake for my special day.
We stole it and we ran away with it. I've done the old at a hotel there's a wedding, ambled in, grabbed a cocktail before, but didn't stay and didn't, shoot the breeze. Just like we can kind of mingle in and grab a drink and split. I've done that move before, but I've never actually crashed one. Like, let's go and stay and dance.
Make up an identity
like the movie or anything like that, man. That's so good. I forgot all about Dave. I hope Dave's doing okay. Dave, if you're still here with us on this
big
on this planet even, or listen to the show, please call in at 833-288-0973. We'd like to say hello.
We'll either get
was good.
We'll either get right to Dave, or we'll get to our Reindl Report coming up in our final segment before the roundtable. That is next with Ben and Woods here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Well, how about Woodsy one more time? I just told you, somebody said in the chat that Eco Water is running right through Woodsy. I had to run out and go to the bathroom. I do drink a ton of water. I do drink exclusively Eco Water. We do in our home. We got the system put in a couple years ago, and it has been a revelation. I rarely get credit for any good ideas I have. This is one that I continuously get patted on the back for. Great job, babe, with the Eco Water. Yeah, it's amazing. My kids, I feel very happy that my kids and my wife, we're all drinking the best water. We're cooking with the best water. Our coffee tastes delicious. Our skin feels better. You can absolutely see the difference. You can taste the difference every single day with Eco Water. Also, if you don't have the Eco Water system, the hard water could be wrecking your plumbing, appliances, and water heater. If you had to do a whole home repipe, if it just ravaged it, which it absolutely will, could run you up to $24,000. Another reason why I love the Eco Water system in our home, keeping water soft since 1925. Call today, get a free in-home water test today. Try the Soft Life and alkaline water for just $9.95 a month. You can call 760-350-3338, 760-350-3338, or just go to EcoWaterSoCal.com. Let them know Woodsy sent you. Not everything in life should be hard, especially your water. Keeping it soft since 1925.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
And let's go right out to the phone lines where Dave is standing. No.
Oh, you just made my heart leap.
I thought I would.
Man.
No, Dave did not call in.
Damn it.
During our break. I'm sorry to disappoint you.
If anybody hears from Dave, we miss you. Love those calls. Just completely random, off-topic calls.
Big Xander Bogaerts fan. Big.
I didn't like that talk. That was so good. Dave, man, yeah, Guzzinator, he got me too. He said I was just so excited for a second.
Sorry.
I can't see the screen, so I didn't know if he was BSing me or not. Turns out he was. I'm a gullible one. I fall for everything.
My bad. All right, I'm hungry. We should have pizza coming in shortly, which is good. But first, we got a Reindl Report. Paulie with his headlines after our last check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Not a bad wrap-up for our morning drive. We're not showing any trouble spots at all. Really not many brake lights out there. Even westbound side of the 52 looking good for you heading out of Santee. And Kelly Danick, Ben Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Okay, how are you?
on 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a oh yeah?
All right.
I forgot we had him in the
Dave.
I forgot we had him in the Reindl Report. That was good.
That was good.
So random. All right, go ahead, Ben.
Just got a tweet from Jetty B. Looked it up on the old artificial intelligence overview. Soaking lips in milk, especially raw milk, is a natural way to moisturize and soothe chapped lips. I just knew it instinctively, Woods. It just felt right. Milk can help soften rough skin, deeply cleanse pores, and gently exfoliate.
Milk does not exfoliate.
That's what it says.
It doesn't.
For a more targeted treatment, consider using a milk and turmeric paste.
Yes.
Or mixing
Okay.
milk with rose petals for a more luxurious lip mask.
Please, next time you have chapped
I need
lips.
to open Ben's Milk Lip Salon.
Yeah, just Ben's milk lips.
Have it set up where you can just kind of lean in.
Yeah,
and
bowls
milk
for
just
everyone.
Gently flows right over your lips.
Milk face. All right, Paulie, take it away.
Well, we did talk about the Lakers and LeBron's legacy after their 4-1 series exit, playoff exit yesterday at the hands of the Timberwolves.
Totally didn't get swept.
No, did not
Totally
get
did not
swept.
get swept.
It is a gentleman's sweep, though.
Yes, the gentleman's sweep.
The Rockets, they held off elimination. Golden State has a 3-2 series lead now after Houston won 131-116 last night. That was the only other game.
Was that the old, hey, we have to go there for game 5, so we're going to kind of back it off and save it all for our game 6 at home on Friday night?
I don't think you
in
ever
the
do
playoffs.
that.
You never do that. You don't risk it.
so.
I hate
it happens
that.
a lot, though. Where the
Maybe
home,
in basketball you feel it, but I don't like that, man.
it didn't happen for the Lakers.
Take your dubs where you can get them.
Yeah. Tonight, 2 games. It starts at 4:30 on TNT. You've got the Knicks and the Pistons.
What's that series at?
Knicks have a 3-2 series lead.
But
They
the
can close
Pistons
it out.
just won the last game. Looked pretty good doing
in
so.
Detroit tonight. So
Okay.
that could be a good game. And then Nuggets and Clippers. Denver took a 3-2 series lead a couple nights ago.
I want to see that one go 7. So go Clippers tonight. I'd love to see a Game 7 in that series.
That'll be at the Intuit Dome.
I'm into it.
In LA. You are into it.
All
right. And that's it for sports.
That's fast.
I've said in the past, I think we would be a better country if we got rid of coins entirely.
Yeah, agreed.
I don't think
I just used some in a parking meter yesterday or 2 days ago.
I didn't know that they
when
still had
I
those
was
either.
on El Cajon Boulevard, and I was on my way to Channel 10, but I was hungry, so I stopped for a sandwich at a deli liquor store, and all they had was metered parking in front. And luckily, I had a quarter. Got me 6 minutes of time.
There are meters available right now that don't have like the Apple Pay or slide a
just
card.
a regular old
meter
meter with coins.
Now, did you find that liquor store sandwich shop on Eater?
I found it on either Yelp or Eater. It's called the Girls Deli, and it was pretty good.
Then just roaming El Cajon Boulevard at the Girls Deli.
The back of the ABC liquor store, and it's a good deli, and I had a really good tuna melt.
You are such a deviant.
Nothing about
eating
that sounded
hot tuna
good.
at a liquor store called the Girls Store.
Well, the tuna is technically not hot. You melt the cheese on top of it. The tuna remains
cheese on fish.
Side.
It never makes sense
Works
to
for
me.
me.
Never. It never
Works
makes
for me.
sense.
On a hot San Diego
Yeah,
afternoon.
I just grilled you up a nice piece of mahi. Let me put a nice slice of Swiss on top of it, melt it over. It does. You would be like, bro, get this out of my face.
I don't think that it's necessarily as big of a deal as some people make it out to be.
Cheese on fish.
It's not the worst
It's
combo.
disgusting.
It's not. It really isn't.
If I was starving in the desert, I wouldn't eat it. I would not eat it. I would pick the cheese off and then eat it.
I mean, people put tartar sauce on fish.
It's not cheese,
but it's got that same kind of tanginess.
No,
as
it doesn't.
cheese, and
What are you
it's
talking about
creamy and tangy.
But it's
So
not
why
cheese.
couldn't you put cheese? What's the difference?
You don't put cheese on. Would you order
I
a piece
get it.
of
I do-
salmon?
I do know
with
that is-
melted cheddar on top.
I don't think now salmon's
Okay.
more of an oily fish.
No,
and I don't think that would work.
El Carlos
but
says there's fish tacos
I
with
put
melted
cheese on
cheese.
fish I love an
no.
especial fish taco has
No,
cheese
no,
and guacamole on it. It's
no,
good.
No.
Absolutely.
Paulie, do you eat cheese on fish?
No.
No.
I don't like tuna, so I've never had a tuna melt.
I love tuna. I will not eat it hot or with cheese on it.
Zen says Girls Deli actually really good. It is.
Yeah,
I
I
like
believe
salmon.
that.
I like salmon, but I'm
they
not
care
putting a
about
slab
their
of-
they care about their products.
Why would there be a fish in the desert, Spencer? If I'm in the desert, I'm probably not hungry. I'm probably thirsty.
Oh yeah, an El Gobernador taco with the fish and the melted cheese on the tortilla is outstanding. Outstanding. Onions, peppers, cheese,
I'm gonna
and
throw up.
and
Filet of
shrimp
fish has
or
cheese
fish.
on it. It's hideous.
Hot fish and sandwich and cheese is just not doing it for me right now. Anyways, this all started
Anyway,
from Astoria, and do you know where Alvord, Texas is?
Alvord? I've never heard of it.
Alvord. It's in North Texas.
Nope.
Further evidence that we can just move on from coins entirely because a semi truck on U.S. Highway 287 over in Wise County, Texas, had an accident, and they were
Pooped his pants?
They were carrying $800,000 worth of dimes in this truck. And the freeway
Dimes
was
are the
shut
worst
down
to pick
the
up.
entire day. The entire day, the freeway was completely closed off while a crew
Can't
had
pick 'em
to
up.
clean up
You
$800,000.
cannot pick it up with your finger.
especially if you bite your fingernails.
Yeah, which I
like
do.
We
You
do.
can't do it.
You cannot pick up a dime if it's flat on the ground.
No.
It's just like impossible to do so.
It's so hard.
8 million dimes is what they estimated
8
were scattered on the
million
highway. The driver veered off. I don't know if he was falling asleep or whatever because he overcorrected his truck, his big rig,
Jeez.
and flipped. And roughly 8 million dimes just sprayed everywhere all over the freeway. And I started thinking about, you ever pick up a coin off the ground, off the concrete,
Off the
especially.
concrete.
It's so hard to grab
I
them.
think you got to get one of those big electromagnetic trucks and just start just magnetic.
You can maybe pick up
magneting
one
them
at a time, but we're talking about 8 million dimes
Shop
here.
back, as Shockwave says. Yeah, I
Just
agree.
Sounded awful.
It's a good bit for your kids. If you need to kill like an hour, just throw, 800 dimes on the ground. Be like, all right, pick these
Then
dimes
you get to keep
up.
them when you're done.
You get to keep them when you're done.
Take them to the coin star.
What do you even use a dime for these days? You know?
I mean, the parking meter also took dimes.
Oh, yeah. I guess that's it.
You
right?
wanted another 2 minutes
Yeah.
onto your 6 that you got for the quarter.
Nickel gets you 30 seconds. Pumping nickels in there. 1 minute, 2 minutes.
Pennies
3 minutes.
really have no use
Pennies have no
whatsoever,
use. Zero.
other than flipping a coin. There's nothing.
No,
you
you
can do
just
with
flip a
pennies.
quarter. That's what I do.
And then finally, we wrap it up here with a story that is absolutely curated for one of you.
Ooh. Hot fish. We've already done, so I know
Okay,
that's
so then
not
I'll give
bad.
this story to Woods.
Okay.
We got a list of the top 10 best opening lines in rock music. The
Ooh,
lyrics, the
in
best
rock music.
opening lines. This was from a Screen Rant.
Okay.
Put this together a few days ago. I'll just blow through the numbers 10 through 5 real quick, and then we can kind of get into 5 through 1. Planet Caravan by Black Sabbath.
Oh, what a song.
Sympathy for the Devil, the Rolling Stones.
Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm a man of wealth and taste.
I think it is kind of badass.
Badass.
I like
Pretty
that
good.
open.
Yes.
The Eagles, Hotel California, Dark Desert Highway.
On a dark desert highway, cool wind in my hair. One smell of colitas rising up through the air. It's a great one.
Let It Be by the Beatles.
When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom. Let it be.
Come As You Are by Nirvana, number 6.
Come as you are, as you were, as I want you to be. That's okay.
And then the top 5. Don't Stop Believing by Journey.
Just a small town
girl.
girl
All right.
living in a lonely world. Yep.
Took the
great.
midnight train.
Going
Going
anywhere.
anywhere.
Fantastic song.
That's a good one.
Won't Get Fooled Again by The Who. We'll be fighting in the streets.
Yeah, we'll be
with our
fighting
children at
with
our
the children
feet.
at our feet, and the
Morals
of our
that they worship will be gone, and the men who spurred us on.
I would actually go with Baba O'Reilly as a better one than that one. Out here in the streets,
Out here in the street.
I work. Out here in the street, I work. What does he say?
I don't have the lyrics on.
No,
hand
I
for
get
that.
my back into my living, which is just fantastic. All right.
Baba O'Reilly. Out here in the fields,
Yeah,
I
in the
fight
fields.
for
I
my
fight for my meals.
I get my back into my living.
Oh,
I don't
that's a-
need to fight to prove I'm right.
That's a brilliant line.
Number 3 on their list, best opening lines in rock music. The Joker by Steve Miller Band. Some people call me the Space Cowboy. Yeah.
All right.
Some people call me the Gangster of Love.
That's all right.
Some people call me
Maurice.
Maurice.
I wouldn't have put that in the top 5. Thunder Road by Bruce Springsteen. Screen Door Slams. Mary's Dress Sways.
I like, hey, little girl, is your daddy home? Did he go and leave you all alone? I got a bad desire. I'm on fire.
And according to ScreenRant.com,
Number
the
one.
number
Hold on.
1 opening lines in rock.
Black Dog from Led Zeppelin.
Nope.
Stairway to Heaven.
No.
I also don't.
Give me the band.
Oh, that's where it gets a little controversial, at least in my mind. The Bee Gees.
Well, you can tell by the way I use my walk, I'm a woman's man. No time to talk.
Is that a rock song?
It's a disco song.
Disco.
That's disco.
Yeah, very disco.
Yeah.
Huh.
I don't know if I agree with these.
I don't dislike that one.
No, I don't dislike it either.
I think I like more simple lyrics.
Like?
Sad. I don't know. I like the ones that are poignant and sad.
Like?
Layla is one of my favorite songs. What do you do when you get lonely and nobody's waiting by your side?
That's a great one. Yeah, I would like to do riffs, best riffs.
First
one
thing I
day.
thought
that's a
of,
great
it
riff.
didn't make the list. Others in the top 15, Sinead O'Connor, Nothing Compares
Oh,
to You,
God.
Space Oddity,
Oh.
Bohemian Rhapsody,
Oh.
Let's Go Crazy,
Oh, dearly beloved.
Bullet with Butterflies.
No, where
Butterfly
is a
Wings.
vampire? Is it?
It's like you think
So
about
those
it, but
are
it's not
they're
good.
very memorable.
Yeah.
Is it really meaning? Does it really
Like,
mean
I think
anything?
like for those about to rock,
Ooh.
like that one, we go to the guitar bite.
That kicks ass. That really kicks ass.
like right from the beginning, hooks you in.
Did you find the AC/DC clip of them over the weekend?
I did.
You did.
But it didn't save.
You didn't
so I'd
save.
have to go
Did you
find
hear it?
I did. It's not
It's tough, isn't it?
good.
Kind of broke my heart.
And
a
it was
little
tough
bit.
because it was somebody was like in the crowd on their phone
Yeah,
filming it, so
yeah.
you don't get to hear it very well already.
But you
from
get
there.
the general sense of like,
Yeah.
man, it's really, really tough.
It wasn't that far off from like Motley Crue nowadays.
Yeah. It was pretty tough.
It's tough listen.
There's a lot of good opening lines.
Yeah, here's good. I just looked it up. The Doors. You know, the day destroys the night. Night divides the day.
Yeah. I like a
Good one.
crystal ship. Before you slip into unconsciousness, I'd like to have another kiss. Really good. He's a great, great lyricist. There's so many. I mean, Beatles, like you said, Zeppelin. I mean, no Zeppelin in there. Hey, mama said the way you
No
move,
Zeppelin.
gonna make you sweat, gonna make you groove. It doesn't really get much better than Black Dog. That's pretty fantastic. I like the Stones one. That was a good one. I like that list. It's pretty decent. It's decent.
Yeah,
it's
I guess
also very subjective.
It's subjective. Is it most memorable? Like, because
Memorable would be I saw a werewolf with a Chinese menu in his hand.
Is that Werewolves in
of
London?
London? Yeah,
I like that song.
Well, I didn't say it was a good song.
That's memorable.
This is a
That's
memorable
true.
first lyric.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Of the song.
All right. Thank you, Paulie. Excellent Reindl Report
Thank
today.
you.
Okay.
I'm working on my milk spa now.
Just
my
gearing.
my milk lips spa.
Just
idea.
gearing up for the round table.
Seems like overhead would be pretty cheap. Milk is not that expensive.
Okay.
You know,
you got to have
for
a rent.
beauty product. As beauty products go, you can,
Yeah, but how much can you charge?
Lotions and creams are much more expensive.
Save
than
him
milk.
saying lotions and creams. Just save that. We'll need it at some point. I'm positive.
Quiet.
All right.
Lotions and creams.
Paulie.
I know you like it clean.
I do. I like it very clean, as you know. Roundtable coming up next, brought to you by Roundtable Pizza. Padres off tonight. What are you going to be watching this evening?
Ooh. You know, I believe tonight after work, they're having the 12th anniversary party of the Regal Seagull. And I'm going to go meet everybody there as they celebrate the anniversary where my wife now works, manages the kitchen. So I don't know that I'll be watching a ton of TV tonight.
Okay. So you'll be down there
for a little while.
I'm been watching this Waco documentary on Netflix.
Like the Branch Davidian
Did
Waco
you see it?
one?
Yes.
Bro, I am blown away. And I saw the miniseries. That was excellent. That's on Paramount Plus. And Taylor Kitsch plays David Koresh and knocks it out of the park. Really, really well done. This is the documentary, the behind the scenes of what went down with the Branch Davidians. I was a senior in high school, about an hour and a half away. And, you know, at 17 years old, you're like, I don't care anything about the news, right? To go back and watch it now is staggering.
I'm surprised they haven't done one of those full on, at least I haven't seen it, for the Heaven's Gate one up in Rancho Santa Fe.
Oh, there's plenty out there.
Is there a lot of them now? But there hasn't been like one of the big money late ones from a streaming service.
There was a new documentary series on the Oklahoma City bombing that was tied to Waco in its roots. So there was a little bit of both.
I think I'm going to finish that tonight.
All right, Mike Schilt tomorrow. We will talk to you at 6 a.m. But of course, we'll talk to you in about 5 minutes on the Roundtable. For Paulie, for Woods, I'm Ben. Don't go away. San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.